This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, it's good to see y'all this Monday. I've got some things to talk about with y'all this here day. It's good to see you all. I saw that excuse me. Orange Rose became a member. Thank you so very much for that. I'm going to grab my crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so very much for that. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. I've been doing like a mad dash trying to get everything together for today's live because we got some things to discuss. Give me just 1 second and I'll shout all of y'all out. Like I said, it's so good to see y'all this Monday. Okay. Bad Girl, Orange Rose, Cara, Toxic, Southern Cats, Nessie UK, Scratch the Pate, Bazard, Valerie Beavers, Veronica, good to see y'all, Cajun Juju, Kimberly, Jess G, Anders, Ali X, Amanda, Sue Joy, Ann, Indie Girl, Lori, good to see you. Good to see you, Rubber, Miss Kimmy Akers. I got in here kind of late, so I don't know how far I can go up. In New York City, Boomer and LJ, good to see y'all. All right, if I missed you, make sure you comment so I can shout you out. Hey, Julie, good to see you. Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all. Did y'all see my background? Hold on, I'll remove myself for a second. Isn't it cute? I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go back through the interview with Stefan, but first we're going to talk about a couple of things that I have found that I have some questions about. One thing is going to be kind of hard to talk about because it's kind of graphic. It's a question I have. Hey, Mike. And to do that, we're going to have to listen to the DNA video because I have a theory and I want to talk about that. So we'll go ahead and grab the DNA video and let some people get in here before I talk to you guys about the things that I found in these documents that I don't think anybody's talked about yet. Me and Hio were talking this morning and we found a couple of things in the documents. So we'll watch the DNA video first because what we're listening for is where blood was located in Maddie, on Maddie, or in Maddie, or all of the things like that. And we need to write that down. I have a theory. It's going to be hard to talk about. Possible cause of death is what I'm thinking, what we've talked about. So we'll do that, and then we'll go over the document stuff that I found that I don't think anybody's discussed yet while we give people time to come in. So let's go ahead and grab the DNA video and listen to that. We're listening again specifically for where blood was found on Madeline and in Madeline and all of the things like that. I have a speculation on how she might have died. We know that it was strangulation and that her hyoid bone was broken. So we're going to listen. I'm listening mainly for her throat and around her neck. Left neck swab as represented as being from Maddie, and item 8.2. I'll start it at the beginning. I'll make it larger and I'll put it on, well, we'll just listen to it on regular speed, and we will, I'm going to write down where the blood was found. And I want to share it with you guys. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to tell you what I think it says. Any of my internet sleuths out there, if you pick up something that I don't, please let me know. Share it. Let us know. Give us some information. Hey, tell me what you think, okay? All right. Hopefully you can see that. It's as clear as I can make it. If you guys don't mind, please hit the thumbs up for me and help us get out into the algorithm. I really appreciate that. This is from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. It's from J. Mark Glass, who's the commissioner. It's a laboratory report from April 10th, 2024. It says, attention, Mark Morris, who's the head detective on the case. I apologize if you hear stuff in the background. It's nighttime and I can't. It's loud here at night in the speculating family's household. So it tells us the victim is Madeline. So this is going to be a real difficult subject. And again, I want to give you several trigger warnings because what the possible theory is going to be very hard to hear. Assumed to be Madeline Soto, and you'll understand why in just a second. The subject is Stephen Stearns. The offense is a death investigation in Osceola County. February 25th, 2024 is when they're saying the death occurred, which is important. That means it would be the night before. This is a laboratory report that was done April 10th of 2024, and we're going to go down. Okay. It says this report references evidence submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on March 13th, 2024 by Jamie Jung. The report contains conclusions, opinions, and or interpretations made by the author. It tells us the evidence, the FDL, and the agency. So it says item number, exhibit number. Okay, the exhibit's going to be for court, the longer set of numbers there. And then what we need to pay attention to is like item 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.1, 8.29. Okay. So the description. Hey, Jenny Jen, if I missed you, I'm sorry if I did. Sometimes I missed people, my moderators coming in. I do apologize. Anders says that's strange. Of course they're going to find that, right? Description for item number 3 is buccal swabs represented as being from Stephen Stearns. 4 is a member swab represented as being from Stephen Stearns. 5 is a DNA card represented as being from Maddie. 6 is left fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. 7 is right fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. 8 is neck swabs represented as being from Maddie. 8.1 left neck swabs. 8.2 right neck swabs. 9 is a right hand swab represented as being from Maddie. 10 is a left hand swab represented as being from Maddie. 11 is the backdoor hole swab represented as being from Maddie. The number 12 is the front door swab represented as being from Maddie. 12. Alex, that's such a sweet thing to say. I don't recognize my southern drawl, but that was so sweet. I'm glad that y'all like my southern accent. Sometimes I don't. 12.1 is hair. 13 is chest, or I'll say boob swabs represented as being from Maddie. 14 is oral swabs represented as being from Maddie. Okay, this is page 104. Now we're going to scroll down. It tells us the file number, the submission. It says item number 3, buccal swabs represented as being from Stephen Stearns. Item number 5, DNA card represented as being from Maddie. Complete DNA profiles of the 3-second game. Oh, yeah. It took me a minute to realize what you were talking about. Oh, yeah, that is absolutely disgusting and devastating to think about. Oh, okay. I'm glad that I didn't miss you. Yeah, that. And then there's a picture of her on Stephen's shoulders in the pool. That picture was taken the next day, the very next day after that 3-second game thing. Absolutely disgusting. Were obtained from item 3 and 5, excuse me. So that means they got DNA profile of Stephen from his buccal swabs, and they got a DNA profile of Maddie from her DNA card represented as being from her. Item number 4 is a member swab represented as being from Stephen Stearns. They say Stephen Stearns, item number 3, is expected to be a donor to item number 4. No DNA results foreign to Stephen Stearns were obtained from item number 4. So they're saying item number 3, which was the buccal swab, is expected to be a donor of the DNA that they got from the member swabs. And that from those 2 swabs, they didn't get any DNA that was foreign to Stephen. Raven, it's good to see you. The 3-second game. So, I mean, trigger warnings are dropped constantly in chat. I do want to give a generalized trigger warning. I'll go ahead and put the banner up because this whole this whole lab is going to be very triggering. The Stefan told Maddie when she was like 7 or 8 years old. The first time he abused her, he said, basically, hold my member in your mouth for 3 seconds, or I won't let you play on the phone or watch cartoons. So that's the 3-second thing. It's very triggering. It's very hard to hear. That's how everything started. Hey, Manda. Hey, Karen. Which they wouldn't. They're his buccal swabs and his member swab, okay? Item number 6 is left fingernail clippings represented as being from Madeline. They said using a color change test, item 6 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. So that means under Maddie's left fingernail, the clippings that they got from them, there was no blood. Okay. This is marked out. I don't know what it is. And it says item number 5. What I would assume Maddie, but I'm not sure. It says item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 6. No DNA results from Maddie were obtained from item number 6. So they're saying Maddie's DNA card is expected to be a donor to the DNA of her left fingernail clippings, and no DNA that was foreign from Maddie was found in those 2 places. Item number 7 is right fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 7 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. That means there was blood under her right fingernail clippings. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 7. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 7. Okay, so item number 5 was the DNA card represented as being from Maddie, and they're saying that no DNA results foreign from Maddie were obtained from item number 7, so we're going to assume it was her blood. So her blood is under her fingernails. Hey, Chrisamine, if I didn't see you. Nene Nut, good to see you. Did they take buccal swabs off of Jen? I don't know. Or buccal swabs. I'm not sure. That would be a good question. I mean, they would know, like, if they took blood from Maddie and it was Jen's, it would show up as basically having some of the DNA, like as a donor to her DNA. So it wouldn't show up as Maddie's DNA, but it would show up as close, and you would be able to tell that it was somebody related to her through blood, if like Jen's blood was in any of her stuff. So I'm going to assume that there was nothing from Jen in any of this, but we won't know until trial, right? Item 8.1 is a left neck swab as represented as being from Maddie, and item 8.2 is a right neck swab represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 8.1 and 8.2 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. That means there was blood around her neck. It's blacked out. Item number 5. Okay, there's blood around her neck. Hey, Abellis. All right, I'm going to write that down. Yeah, this whole stream is going to be very triggering. It's going to be hard to talk about. It's going to be pretty graphic. 5 is expected to be a donor to item 8.1 and 8.2. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item 8.1 and 8.2. So item number 5 again is the DNA card represented as being from Maddie. It says that that's expected to be a donor to item 8.1 and 8.2. I don't know if they mean like her neck, like obviously it's her neck, right? When they go back saying it's a donor to item number 7, like it's her fingernail clippings, not necessarily what was under them came from her. I'm not sure how to read that. You guys can let me know. But anyway, going back to that, it said it gave the chemical indications for the presence of blood. And then it says no DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from items 8.1 and 8.2, which would be, I assume, her neck. So maybe it was her blood on her neck. Item number 9, right hand swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 9 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. So I have a theory about the blood on her neck being hers, because I mean, I don't know how else her blood would get around her neck, and we'll talk about that. I'm mainly looking for in her mouth and in her throat It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 9. DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 9. Due to the limited nature of these results, the data is not interpretable. So that's saying item number 5 was a donor to her right hand, and DNA results that were not Maddie's were obtained from her right hand swab. Okay, so somebody else's DNA was on her right hand. Item number 10 is left hand swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 10 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. So there was blood on her left hand, and going back to the right hand, there was blood on her right hand as well. I don't know if I said that. I apologize if I did. So to item number 10.
Hey, heathen.
Again, left hand swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 10 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. The DNA results obtained from item number 10 demonstrated the presence of a mixture. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item 10 and is observed in the mixture. DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 10. Due to the limited nature of these results, the data is not interpretable. Continuing on, item number 11 is RECTAL or backdoor swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 11 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Possible hairs were observed on item number 11, but were not removed or examined. So there was possible hairs on the backdoor swab, and there was blood. It's blacked out.
So that part, where they talk about there being possible hairs, I'm assuming that they were attached. So that's why they didn't remove them, because if they're attached to her body, then that would obviously be her hair. So that would explain to me why they didn't remove the hair or test it from that area.
Now, item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 11. That means that there was DNA. I'm assuming it's Maddie's DNA or Maddie's rectal swab, I would guess. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 11. Item number 12 is front door or vaginal swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 12 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 12. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 12. So that means there was blood, but it was hers. And again, on the back door, there was blood, but it was hers.
So, yeah, I see what some of you are saying in chat. Hey, Mrs. O. The fact that there was blood in those areas, it unfortunately isn't surprising, but it's her blood. So that would make me think that maybe she had started a cycle or something to that effect. It would depend on how much blood is there. And we don't know that, but there's no other foreign DNA that's mentioned as being there. So I would think that's just, since they say it's her blood and there's no other foreign DNA, that would make me think that at some point a cycle had started, as nicely as I can say that. I mean, I don't know how else to say it any nicer.
Item number 12.1 is a hair collected from the vaginal swabs or the front door swabs. A possible hair observed on item number 12 was examined using microscopy. However, this hair was not suitable for STR DNA analysis and was returned to the original package. Another possible hair was observed on item number 12 but was not removed or examined. Item number 13 is chest or BREAST, boob swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 13 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. There was no blood on her chest. The DNA results obtained from item number 13 demonstrate the presence of a mixture. So there's a mixture of DNA on her chest. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 13 and is observed in the mixture. So her DNA is in part of the mixture. The DNA results foreign to Madeline were obtained from item number 13. Due to the limited nature of these results, this data is not interpretable.
Item number 14, oral swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 14 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. There was
blood in her mouth.
Blood in her mouth. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 14. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained in item number 14. So that means it was her DNA or in her blood. It was basically her blood. The DNA profiles obtained from item number 3 and 5 have been entered into CODIS. PCR-based STR DNA analysis was performed on samples from items number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.1, 8.2.
And the rest of that video is just talking about how they performed DNA analysis, but there wasn't enough that they were able to get DNA. But okay, so we do know there was blood in her mouth. Now I'm going to jump over to this document, one of the documents that we pulled and found today. And we're going to talk about another video, and then I'm going to tell you this theory that I have. It's not a video, it's documents, but it references a video. That's why I said that. Okay, so going back to this document. Hold on. There you go. Okay, this is from December 30th, 2024. We talked about this. We've read this document. The main thing I want you to see in this is that it's a letter from the state attorney's office to Sheriff Marco Lopez. Okay, you guys remember that he released some kind of photo or video, supposedly from what everybody said, it was a photo of her at the crime scene. But I don't know of anybody personally that's seen it, okay? 2 times in this document from the state's attorney's office, all the way in December, you know, like what, at least 6 months after the crime happened, they're talking to him about a publication of a photograph depicting the killing of a minor victim, okay? And then down here they say it again, regarding your publication of the photograph depicting the killing of a minor, okay? A photograph of her body at a crime scene is not depicting the killing. It would be depicting her death or her after death. Now we're going to jump to the new documents that were just released, and we're going to look at this real quick. I should have got the big one, but hold on just a minute. This is going to be a cover sheet, okay, for the document release that just happened. And it tells you what they're not allowed to put in there, what they're not going to put in there. It basically says DNA information, or not DNA, DMV information, information of a minor victim, things like that. All the way down at the bottom, they marked other. And then that is like, this again is information they can't put in there. And it's the identity of the safe school officers, images and data from automated license plate recognition system. And then right here on the bottom, photo, video, or audio recording depicting the killing of a minor. So taking into consideration how Stephen talks to his parents, his dad from jail, and is saying, you know, I never would have meant for this to happen. You know, I would never hurt her in any way. And the fact that we have the picture of the birthday shirt, we don't have the picture of the Deadpool shirt, but in the description where they talk about what they saw in the videos and images, they talk about Stephen wearing that red Deadpool shirt. And we talked about how I think she was abused the night that the homicide was committed. I'm thinking that they have it on video. And I'm wondering if the blood in her mouth, I'm wondering if basically he was abusing her and he was recording it and she choked on something. I don't know how else. I'm trying to tiptoe around this as easily as possible. I'm wondering if he accidentally choked her to death. Considering the pictures that she drew and some of the images, there was a lot of talk about things going into the mouth and how he abused her that way. So I'm wondering if she choked to death accidentally, and that would be the reason that there's blood in her mouth. He's recording it and putting it on Telegram or whatever. And there's an actual video of her passing away that night. And they have it, and that's why, and then it was accidentally released by Sheriff Marco and then quickly removed, and that's why it says photo, video, or audio recording depicting the killing of a minor in this document and in the other document, and that would explain the blood in her mouth. The blood around her neck and the hyoid bone being broken, I'm wondering if that happened after death, when he put her in the car and used the leash to basically hold her up. Because you got to think about, like, if you're no longer alive and your body's just flopping around here, there, and everywhere, it's very possible, with me in my speculation, that the hyoid bone could have been broken by the leash trying to hold her in place. So I know that's a hard theory to go by, but it would explain a lot, in my mind. How it could be accidental, why there would be blood in her mouth, photo, video, or audio recording depicting the killing of a minor, the clothing that was worn that night. I don't know if he was necessarily into erotic asphyxiation. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. If they haven't got it, it's on Telegram. Yeah, I think they delete the Telegram things. Or I think they use Telegram so that it can't be tracked. Darlene said her hyoid bone was broken. That takes force either by hand or object. The hyoid bone takes a lot of direct force. Okay, so is it possible that if you are deceased and your body, like, he's driving around and turning and all of that, and there's a leash only around her neck, could her body basically flopping around, not to be graphic, could it get broken that way, or is it something that has to happen by manual strangulation? The homicide didn't occur there, so that's why I believe it's worded that way. Okay, that could be a possible speculation. Like, I'm just talking to y'all about my speculations, and y'all can tell me what you think. So yeah, the necro aspect. Let's go ahead and talk about that, the necro aspect of this case. Me and Hio were going through documents this morning, and we found this. Let me get this pulled up, because that's something I want to talk about as well. Okay, in this document that we were reading, we were going through things. This is an actual computer image of how Madeline's body was found. Now, I remember it saying that she was found in the fetal position, but you can see per this image right here, it shows her laying face down and her butt in the air and her legs bent. This is a cut from the actual document. It says, the decedent was found in between the bamboo trees and covered with dead vegetation. She was observed in the prone position with her head face down and facing north. Both her legs were observed bent at the knees facing south. She was observed wearing a green hoodie with the hood covering her head, blue jeans, and white socks. This is the prone position. Okay. And that would be with the leg bent. Now, we know that Stefan drove there for the 2 nights that he was free. Okay. And then when they go and they search the house, we find that in his book bag. And this is going to be triggering, okay? We know what that was. That's where it was found, in his book bag. They open this pocket, and there's the Solo lotion, okay? I told you this whole string is going to be triggering and hard to hear. Now, she's laying in the prone position. He's going out there every single night that he can until he gets arrested. And then you take into consideration what the ex-girlfriend said, that he was only fully at attention when she laid down and pretended to be deceased. Now, you can all understand where I'm going with this. And the fact that, like, her face was just in the dirt, like, I thought, I'm not trying to give this man any undue credit, but I thought that he placed her there in the fetal position and maybe went back and cried because it was some kind of accident or something. But now I've got a lot more questions. Hey, Goldilocks. Yeah, that's kind of the aspect of what this could possibly be. I'm not trying to upset anybody. I'm trying to talk to y'all about what I found, as triggering and hard as it may be to hear, and see what y'all think. Like, am I completely wrong in thinking this? Like, because Lord knows I don't want it to be true. I want somebody to tell me, no, that's not possible because of this, this, and this. Please, like, please tell me that it's not possible. Yeah, there is something about the fantasy of playing dead. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and listen to the interview where he is interrogated by police, and see what we hear that's different. What is the state attorney's office trying to tell us? I've got to go back. I know they talk about the relationship between her and Stefan. Jen talks about the relationship between Madeline and Stefan in the CSAM interview. Okay. I know that that's different. And we have Stefan references himself as stepdad or dad of sorts, thought of or thinks of me as a dad. The phone was collected legally. They downloaded the phone. Friday night is when she slept at grandma's. He was asked, did she ever get into the back seat? Was she asleep the entire time? They were notified violent crimes was taken over. Jennifer is referred to as his wife. In one interview, he says Jen was asleep, no blood appointment. Grandma said that Jen called two of Maddie's friends. Jen is lying. World War III possibility, live in woods, school night, she sent them upstairs. And then I've got what I wrote from the DNA evidence. So let me see what y'all are saying real quick before we jump into this interview about the very hard to hear, very triggering information that I'm wondering, speculations, not information, because none of it's been proven. Hold on a minute. Okay. Hey, Angela. Allie said, wild speculation here. Could he have been filming a snuff film? Could he sell it for a lot of money? I don't know. I don't think he would have filmed. I don't know. I would hope he wouldn't be going to the snuff film type of thing. I don't think he would have intentionally made a snuff film. Could he possibly be into things like that and trying to make a fake snuff film? It's possible. I certainly hope not. But hey, Kalisa. Lori said rigor can change limb position. It can, but it's not going to change her laying face down in the dirt with her backside in the air. Not, as nice as I can put that. And then the cream in the book bag is just, I have a lot of questions. Kimberly said Jen Soto texted him she couldn't risk Maddie sleeping with her anymore. She wanted out. Just let him do it. Possible. JPL said, hey, guilty of crime. Good to see you. I scrolled up to see a little bit. Rebel Princess, rigor mortis doesn't last 5 days. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into rigor mortis real quick. How long does rigor mortis last? Rigor mortis, let me make sure y'all can see this. Okay. Rigor mortis, the stiffening of muscles after death, typically begins within 2 to 6 hours post-mortem, reaches its peak around 12 hours, and can last 24 to 48 hours before the muscles gradually relax again. Now, the homicide was committed on the 25th, and she was found on March 1st. So she would not still have been in rigor mortis by that time. So it says onset, rigor mortis usually starts within 2 to 6 hours after death, with the small muscles in the face and hands becoming stiff first. Progression, the stiffness progresses to the larger muscles, with the entire body becoming stiff by about 12 hours post-mortem. Peak, the stiffness is at its peak around 12 hours after death. Duration, rigor mortis can last for 24 to 84 hours, which the muscles begin to relax and become limp again. Factors that affect it says several factors can influence the onset and duration of rigor mortis, including the deceased medical's condition, environmental temperature, and pre-death activity. And we're talking about Florida, so it's pretty warm. So I think that would make it last a shorter period of time. And it says forensic scientists use the progression of rigor mortis to estimate the time of death. And we know per the DNA paperwork, I don't know if in the beginning it says that she died on February 25th. And if they're judging that by rigor mortis, that would mean they're giving her an earlier date of death, which is the 25th, instead of saying it could have happened the early morning hours of the 26th, which would make me think that rigor mortis had set in and was long gone by the time they got there. So I don't think rigor mortis she would not still have been in rigor mortis, in my opinion. Annabelle said, I'm still not convinced Jen Soto saw Maddie that Sunday night. I'm not either. Hey, Marley Mom. I had a thought the unaliving happened 3 to 4 a.m., but as things have revealed, I'm not sure anymore. I'm not either, because it's weird to me that they put on the DNA paperwork that it happened on the 25th. Mike said Jen Soto would never have killed his golden goose. Yeah, otherwise funeral directors would not be able to position a body in a coffin. Right, Heather Wells? Yeah, I know you meant Stepping Stones. What about the jeans she was wearing? I do believe that they said she had the jeans on, but that doesn't mean that we don't know, like, what state they were in, if they had been removed and maybe put back on, if they were unbuttoned, any of the things. And we won't know until court. I don't know that we would ever know that. Yeah, I just learned that too, Jeep Sahara, that it goes away after a certain period of time. I wish I could see a real leprechaun too. And with that, we will get into this interview and go through it again and see what we learned that we didn't know before.
Step on. How you doing, sir? Sorry. That's okay. Didn't mean to wake you up. I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Mark. I work for the Kissimmee Police Department. Nice to meet you, Mark. This is Corporal Ilgen. Brandon. I understand you've been here for a little bit. So just to give you a little bit of background, the reason we are here now is because
yes, I do remember hearing that. Ange said, allegedly, after I heard Stern's comment to his parents regarding Maddie's death, he has me going down a different path. Stern's commented that he never felt anything like that before. Right. I remember him saying that. And so again, I mean, I took it as he was in his warped, twisted mind. He was so in love with her that it was an accident and he was really upset. Could he mean he never felt anything? I mean, there's several paths you could go down using speculation solely with that comment. You guys can make your own conclusions from that, but it's something to point out. That's possible, John B. Guilty of crime said rigor mortis, or the stiffening of muscles after death, initially appears within 2 to 6 hours and peaks around 12 hours, then gradually subsides over the next 24 to 36 hours, becoming flaccid again. You think when he went to get the gate clicker, he was getting her jeans? That's an interesting theory. I mean, I guess he could have got her out wrapped in a blanket with no jeans, or switched the shorts or whatever. Let's see. You think he was looking for the other croc? I think so too. I've thought that for a while as well. Kimberly said, my mom died recently. By the time hospice got there, she was getting stiff. I had to cut an Eagles jersey off her. She was so stiff I couldn't get her beloved. I'm so sorry. That's so sad. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it sets in pretty quick, but then leaves. Oh, hey, Anna. I'm glad you found us. Rebel Princess said, is there anything about postmortem lividity that can tell if a body was moved from one position to another after death? That's a good question. Fetal to prone. That's a good question. I'm not sure. And Mrs. O said, can you sleep? How can you sleep under those circumstances? That's a good question. It's a question for Jen, for sure. Yeah, I'm interested in the conversation Maddie had with Jen's sister on her return from the party too, Nessa UK. Shorts were found under her bed, I do believe. Like right under her bed, as if she took them off by her bed.
Because in yourself reside. Okay. So initially they thought, since I went to school, dropped off at school, and it would be an Orange County case. It seems like since she lives in, that's the reason we're going to do the case. Okay. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just grab some things here real quick. All right.
Marley Mum said there had to be some reason he went back to leave something or get something. Yeah, for the clicker. But my thing is there had to be some reason for him to go back both nights too. When she was missing, quote unquote, he took the risk of driving down the first night in his car when he said he was looking for Maddie and was gone for 6 to 8 hours. And then took the risk of doing it again to the extent of leaving the hotel in Jen's car, knowing the police were watching, and he still went down there to where her body was. I know you're talking about to go get the gate clicker. But I'm going down. What is so important at the scene of the crime that you have got to go back both nights knowing damn well that you're being watched by the police and that you're going to be tracked, and you don't even care about all that. You have got to go down there. It's like an addiction, like people using substances. They don't care if the police are watching. They've got to get that fix, right? So what fix did he need to go down to the scene of a crime where you've committed a murder? Not the scene of the crime, but the scene where the body is that you're trying to hide from the homicide that you've allegedly committed. What is so important that you've got to go back there? I mean, I don't know. But then figuring out this morning with Hio that she was in the prone position, and then remembering the masturbation cream in her book bag, that's what it makes me think of. Because if he was asking the ex-girlfriend to play deceased, and that was the only time he was really excited, and then it happened, and he was finally able to fulfill his fantasy, that's going to be an addiction. That's going to be something that in his mind, he's going to be like, I'll never be able to do this again. As sick as that is, that's how people like that think. And he's going to be addicted to going down there, and he's not going to care about the cops watching and things like that, in my opinion. Okay, Zan, it's good to see you. Be safe driving. Heather Wells said, in my honest opinion, he went back after Jen Soto said she wore the shorts at the office interview. He said jeans, and then in a later interview, he said shorts. So that's a good point. I wonder if he would be able to get the jeans on her that night by that time. Like, would he even be able to put jeans on her by that point? That's an interesting... I mean, and is it that important? Like, I wouldn't think that the fact that maybe she's found in the shorts instead of the jeans would be important enough to risk being caught by the police that are watching you going back down there. You know what I mean? I think he went back to see if he had an opportunity to hide her body better, left his phone behind, of course. That's a possibility, Ryan. I'm going to read a couple more comments and then we'll just listen to this for a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people do return to the scene of the crime, which is really stupid.
I saw that y'all said some things. Lynette said, I don't know. Abella said, rigor mortis cause after death, the body's metabolism stops and the production of ATP, the energy source for muscle contraction and relaxation, ceases. In my honest opinion, yeah, the genes. Okay. Basil is chewing. I'm sorry about that noise in the background. Oh, Lord, I was way behind. He had the gate clicker. According to the condo employee at the gate, Stearns held his clicker up and said it wasn't working. I think he went back looking for Crocs. I think it's a possibility. Guilty of crime said, I believe was gone between 3 to 5 due to rigor mortis setting in between 2 to 6 hours. They saw him put her over his shoulder at 9:30 and didn't mention her being stiff. That's a good point. That's the one thing I can't figure out, because if the time of death per the DNA paperwork is the 25th, she would have been stiff by then. And then, I mean, even so, if it sets in 2 to 6 hours after death, even if she was alive at 7, by 9:30, rigor mortis would have started to kick in, and she would not be limp to where he's able to throw her over his shoulders, and she's just kind of flopping around. But we know for a fact that she was dead at 7. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense, because we know for a fact that she went to the birthday party. So she was alive at that time. It seems like rigor mortis should have definitely been set in by 9:30 the next morning, but it wasn't. I don't know if it's the temperature. That's one thing I can't make sense. I think they were definitely panicking. I don't know. They show the crock, but it's pulled out in beside the bag, the book bag and the garbage bag. So I don't know. I'm assuming it would be in the trash bag with the book bag, if I had to guess. She get to sleep 20 minutes extra compared if she had drove Maddie. Yeah. Especially that one lady was having none of her BS. Yeah, the family, I don't know. Unless Stephen Stearns was planning on moving Maddie, at that point PD was tracking him. He wouldn't have gotten far. He could have been planning to move her. I mean, and that goes back to the theory of putting her where the gators are and things like that. You think it happened early morning at 4 a.m. So if it happened at 4 a.m., like, rigor mortis would have been set in by 7 when he's driving her around in the car, but maybe not so much at 6, like 6 hours later at 9:30. I mean, if it only lasted 2 to 6 hours, but it sets back in, I think. Megan, I'm glad you love, you love our channel. Yeah, he's chewing on a notebook right now. I gotta move it in a second. Yeah, a real criminal, but he was definitely not that. All right, so let's listen to this interview.
I know that you were brought up here by detectives, right? Detectives drove you? Okay. And that was earlier today.
I have no idea how long ago that was.
It was sometime today.
Sometime today.
Yeah. So being that you're here, we're here, you were taken here by detectives, I just need to get this out of the way just so we can talk about how we're gone missing or where she may be, okay? All right. Have you ever been in trouble ever in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had your rights read to you at any point in your life?
I must have.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm going to do them again just to get it out of the way, and then we can talk about you taking school and stuff like that, okay? All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning. Do you understand these rights? Okay, perfect. All right. So before we start talking, one last thing. Can you just raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. All right, let's talk about your relationship with, and we just talked to a little bit. So, how long have you been together?
7 years, 6 or 7 years, close to it.
Where'd you meet her?
Work.
Where was that at?
We worked for a home building company. It's no longer in business, but we were both in the call center area.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and talk about your thoughts, opinions, and speculations on what we've discussed so far, because I know y'all might have a lot to say that I can't always catch in chat.
So like selling homes or?
Yeah. We were best friends for about a year before we did official.
Gotcha. So you consider you and her boyfriend, girlfriend? Okay. Any engagement plans or anything like that?
No labels, nothing. We were just happy.
And how long have you lived in with them? Because I know it says she's lived in for years.
Yeah, off and on for years myself.
Okay. Any family that lives in?
No.
Okay. So on and off.
Hello.
This stretch.
My computer's being iffy. Hey, Bazard, how are you?
I'm good. Is there an echo this time?
There was just a little bit, but I think it's gone now. No, yeah, there's an echo.
Oh shoot, I hate this. Because I'm in my car right now, but I was gonna mention the possibility of what type of necrophiliac Stearns could be. I just looked it up, and it's actually kind of interesting.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get you. Let me. I'm sorry. Let me get Bluetooth. Maybe try that and see if it's still echoing. Give me a sec.
You might have to take it off a speaker. It stopped. Well, no, it's still echoing. Heather, while you do that, Heather said in regard to premeditated versus accidental, maybe there's some visual evidence, and that goes back to the paperwork we were talking about, where they talk about Marco releasing a video depicting the killing of a minor, not the minor after death. So y'all don't hear an echo? Because if y'all don't, I'll deal with it, and you're good. So everybody's saying, yeah, somebody said there's an echo.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out why it keeps echoing. Because either if I have it on my headphones or don't have it on my headphones, I guess it still echoes. Let me see if I have it on my headphones. Yeah.
Okay, well, you talk and I'll just be quiet, and then you can just tell me when you want to talk, and I'll be quiet when you talk, and we can do it that way.
No, it's all good. Let me try my headphones.
Smoky Mountain Mermaid just
Is it
gifted
echoing right now?
No.
Okay.
Smoky Mountain Mermaid just gifted 5 speculation station memberships, and I really appreciate that, and that was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I thank you so much for that. Those went to Amanda, Saki Sock, I like that, Gracie, Etta, and Mary. If you were gifted by Smoky Mountain Mermaid and you are aware you are gifted, please tell her thank you, and I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Smoky Mountain Mermaid. That was so very sweet of you.
So what I looked up right quick related with what type of necrophiliac he could be. There's several classifications. And it goes up to 10. And the one that interests me the most is either he could have fit in the number 1, which is called role player, where people get aroused pretending their partner is dead doing the sexual activity, or he's either at number 5, which is the fetishistic. Oh my goodness, fellow necrophiliacs, people who remove objects or body parts from a corpse for sexual fetish without engaging in intercourse. Now, when you were mentioning when he kept going to the body, I was thinking is he at that point where, she's already, I hate trigger warning everyone, but she's probably already having insects in nature, taking care of how it does when a body's out in nature. And I don't know for sure if he was that type, but I can still see him having the freaking masturbation crap, and he's still getting off in one way or another, even if she's, like I said, trigger warning, decomposing.
Okay, what do you think? I was listening and then I got distracted for a minute. I'm going back to the where you're talking about they remove things from the body. What do you think that would be that would tie Stearns into possibly being that if we're going down this road?
I feel like most killers usually take something from the victim.
Mhm.
And the only thing I can think of that he could have done, now I don't know if the detectives or anything said if they have photos of technically Maddie deceased, other than the one that you're saying that they alleged in the video. But I'm thinking this guy is so obsessed, and just the description that you were describing how he acts, it's not that off a possibility.
I think you cut out. Real quick,
Mhm.
okay, sorry. You cut out towards the end
It's
of that,
okay.
so I'm gonna ask you to say what you said again. But first, real quick, Annabelle gifted 5 speculation station memberships, and those went to Donnie Pitbull, Rosalie, Debbie Woloski, Mummy Moo 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 Moo, and Resk Mama. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the new members. If you're gifted by Annabella and you are aware, please tell her thank you, and I'll grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Annabelle. That was so very sweet of you. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Okay. Can you repeat the last part of that because you cut out?
It's all right. So I was thinking he is that obsessive with Maddie that I do feel like at the very least he possibly was still going back to take photos as memory, of course, and was still, like trigger warning, masturbating and all that other kind of disgusting crap with the photos after she's dead. I from what I was looking at the categories,
You're
he
right.
seems to be in the fetish area, but then also role play too. Clearly with the girlfriend, and I don't think he would. I don't know unless they did like a psychological background on him more, or when they whatever the either the state or his defense does it. They have to see if he's the type that would be like Ted Bundy, where he was going back and doing things to, trigger warning again, long deceased body parts or bodies. I don't know if Stearns is at that point or he's in that point, but I do think he would still take objects or something to that effect to have the memory of it and still fetish about it.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. Like BTK and all of the other people did. They would take something and their trophies and things. Yeah, that's more the serial killer, not the necrophiliac. Yeah, I mean, that could explain the gene. Like somebody was saying maybe he changed her, and that could explain if he took the shorts or something and put the jeans on her. That could be something that he might have taken to keep memory of that. But I do believe that he would have taken pictures and things like that if he's going to go out there every single night that he did during the time period that she was deceased. He went there, as far as I remember, he went there every single night until he was arrested. So if he's taking that kind of risk, I could definitely see him having photographs or something for memory.
And I know like I said, they haven't said anything effective like, well, I guess technically, it's up to date as when the last photos or videos. Now they have that, of course, this alleged video of the death, and that could be like one of the final things when she was, alive. But yeah, I can totally see him going back, taking photos. He probably, I hate to say it too, trigger warning, he was just probably rearranging her body, different positions. That's He's the type of guy, from all the research I've seen of people like him and serial killers, they're that sick. And once you're dead to them, it's like your body's still useful to certain degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that he was, I mean, yeah, I do believe that he was doing things, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And to me, for people like that, like, and I mean, this is again triggering and graphic, but if he has a fetish about that and he's wanted to do that his whole life, to the extent of asking a girl to do that, and it freaks her out so bad that she breaks up with him, and that's the only time he's actually excited, of course he's going to take the opportunity to go and do it as much as he can. It's like an addiction. It's like his fix. He has to go, and that's why he risked
Mhm.
getting caught by the police to go do it, because it's not going to happen again that he would be able to. So I definitely agree.
But then this goes into what a little bit when I was talking with what Gersh was on, a few streams ago, and it was like I still think there are other victims, and I don't know personally for sure if Maddie was his only like easy in the sense that he had a lot of access, but I mean, to me, it's like it is strange that he was that obsessive of her to that point where he still would, want to be with her after she's, trigger warning decomposing. But yet, like I said, I do believe that he was already offending with other young girls beforehand. I don't have to prove, but I just think that someone like him seems to show more signs of predatory acts compared to other cases that we discussed, or individuals. And
Yeah, I think that if there was other victims, they would have come out, and for him, the obsession would be Maddie. Like that people say, guys say that they, get girls that are young. They don't mean underage, but they say get girls that are young so that you can train them to be how you want them to be. I've heard like that. That's been said before, and things like that. Guys do that sometimes. With girls that are of age, okay. But if he got one that he could literally raise to be what he wanted her to be, he would be infatuated with her to an unhealthy extent. I mean, I definitely, like I've stated, I definitely think there was a necrophiliac aspect to it, but I don't think that he wanted that to happen. I think that he was obsessed with her because that was his toy, that was his love, that was his that he trained and raised to be and do the things that he wanted her to do. So I think it was an unhealthy obsession with her specifically. I think she was targeted because he knew her mom, and she probably most of the time was really out of it. So it was an easy target. I think if there had been others, they would have come forward, but I don't know. I mean, unless they're scared to say anything to their parents.
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, I agree. I feel it either could be that. The only other person that we allegedly know of was the Asian, allegedly girlfriend that he had, but he was what was that? He was 18 or 19 when that happened, and she was supposedly 14 or 15 or 13, somewhere in that ballpark. So
Yeah.
unless that's allegedly the only other one that we could think, it's just I don't know, something about this guy screams more victims, either online, perhaps. I mean, that I can see that. He definitely is, of course, an online internet type of person. So maybe there are other victims online that he did things to. But then, of course, with Maddie and Jen, it was so easy to have it in real life for him this time.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I kind of drifted over the repositioning of the body. I think that it's possible the body could have been repositioned. I do remember reading that she was kind of in the fetal position, but it's not like they found her and then left and he came back and repositioned her and then they found her again. That didn't happen. And it gives you a computer graphic showing how she was laid that I pulled up earlier. I I don't know. We don't know if she was like that when he placed her there and if he moved her. I assume there would be marks at the crime scene, but we know he went back 2 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that he repositioned her. And I mean, again, I mean, you can make your own conclusions and speculations about why or what happened after that. I do think that rigor mortis would probably be gone by then, so he would have had the ability to reposition her.
It's good speculation. I mean, it's just he does things that unfortunately a lot of killers do. So it's like, or even if it's like a first time killer, it's still aspects that a lot of them share or do, which is always fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
That it does seem like I feel like Stearns probably would have eventually done more. I recently saw another video. I think it was Nietzsche. Yeah, I believe it was Nietzsche, where the way he described his parents and their end of life situation, and she was just kind of concerned about how the way he was so passive about saying it. Like, I mean, if he can kill a child, I mean, he could kill his own parents if he wanted to as well, allegedly, of course.
Right.
So yeah,
I mean,
but that is. Mhm.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say I was gonna get off in a few, but I just want to speak on the necrophilia part. That was my main thing. But I still want to
Yeah.
listen to everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate you coming up and sharing that, your thoughts, opinions, and speculations with us on that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I do believe that there was a necrophiliac aspect to this. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't necessarily, had we not heard the interview from the ex-girlfriend talking about how he was at attention, best when she was pretending to do that. And it was shortly after
Mm-hmm.
that they broke up. And then the masturbation cream in the book bag. I mean,
So I guess one thing I'm going to think, if the defense, when Jen gets on, they're probably going to ask her, maybe, I don't know, I'm assuming that ex-girlfriend too, did he ever do that to Jen? Requested that? Because he had to have been doing something with her for a little bit,
I
allegedly.
mean,
But then again, yeah, I don't even know if they really had sex at all, in my personal opinion, but.
I've been thinking about that and going down that avenue because she said she didn't like it. And then you see all of the, like the things on her Christmas tree and how she's
Mm-hmm.
very supportive. Could she be bi? Absolutely. But
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, and this is purely speculation, I wonder if she was just not into guys and it was purely transactional from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because it pretty much started right after Juan left, and either she was so out of it she really didn't know, or she knew and it was purely transactional to begin with for what substances, money, all of the things you could assume. And even if I really believe that we have pretty much like could etch in stone for the most part that she's a liar and that she's lying about a bunch of shit, and even if he did ask her to do that for him, because okay, even if he did ask her to do that for him, I don't think she would say anything. And I think that if they were having sex, he would have asked her to do that for him, because he asked the girlfriend that he had been dating for not that long and he was testing the waters and pushing the boundaries, and he did it real. I think they were only dating for like 2 months, and he did it quickly into the relationship. To believe that he had been with Jennifer for 7 years, and for at least 5 of those years they were sexually active, and to think that he never asked for that would be, I mean, I don't think that's logical, especially when he asked to go in the back door. I mean,
Yeah. That's something I've been thinking about too. Like, I either they were doing some aspects of sex and these fetishes that he had wanted to do, or going off the journal that you were talking about with her growing up. And then when what Gersh was speaking, yeah, to me it just seems like I don't really think she was. I don't know how she would be attracted to Stearns at all if just going by from her journal when she was in her 20s at least, or a little bit younger. And then with the whole situation with Tyler, where I mean, yes, they had sex and Maddie was born from it, but it was almost as if she cared more about Tyler than Maddie. So it does seem like Jen, at least when it comes to getting involved with men, it does seem very transactional, or at least it has to benefit her for something.
Yeah. And what is she getting from it? Because, she says she keeps him around because to help her with Maddie, but he doesn't help. He eats all the food. He has no income. He has no job. Like she even states that she didn't like him around because he was messy and he was lazy and all of the things. So then why are you keeping him around?
And this is what I'm hoping. Like I said, I don't like the defense per se, just because of their tactics lately. But I mean, when she does get in the stand, I do want to see these kind of questionings. They're going to go after her, at least from the interviews and everything else. So,
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me getting on and get a head off. But it was nice being on, and everyone today have a great happy St. Patty's, and you as well.
Oh yeah, thank you, and I hope you have a good St. Patrick's Day too.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Bye. Good to see you. All right, we'll get back into this interview. I'll pin the link if anybody just wants to come up to discuss.
2 or 3 years.
Okay. Kind of mentioned that you two maybe split up for a little bit in December, then you moved back to wherever your parents live. And where is that at?
It's in Northport, it's down by Sarasota.
Okay, so on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So I understand you had recently. She had a party Sunday? Is that right?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
So
Did you come to the party?
No, I was not. I was on my way up at that point.
Okay. So the party ends. Did you pick them up from the party?
Anybody coming in, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up so we can get out into the algorithm. Thank you so much.
Someone must have dropped her off.
Okay.
She was there when I got there. Asked me to make sure that I was getting into the shower and did her bedtime routines, which she did. She was already on top of it, so nothing to do there.
Okay. What time do you think you got back?
What time I got in there?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30ish, something like that.
And I apologize if you've answered these questions before. It's just like I said, we're coming into the game late, so I may ask you things that you
this is what we were trying to figure out this morning when we were going through all this stuff. Me and Hio got together and we're trying to figure out definitively if he arrived Saturday or Sunday, right? Because so he says he arrived Sunday in this interview, but in the beginning, he said he arrived Saturday. The neighbors said that they saw him Saturday. Jen can't remember. On the jail call, the parents asked if he went up Saturday, and then he says, no, I went up Sunday. It was after the birthday party, but what if they were remembering correctly? And then he said that, and they were just like, oh, okay, and maybe thought they were misremembering, or was everybody else that thought they saw him on Saturday misremembering? I thought I remembered something somewhere reading or hearing that Madeline called him from the birthday party on Sunday, and then he came up after that. But if we're going to go down that avenue, then why was she crying when she left the birthday party saying she didn't want to go home if she's calling him from the birthday party and asking him to come and see her? So those are the things we can't figure out just yet or definitively verify that we're working on trying to verify.
that you've already answered like 3 or 4 times.
I apologize as well. My memory is not super reliable on time frames. I've been medicated for the better part of a week.
Okay, that's fine. What do you take medicine for?
Anxiety mostly. I've been having some money troubles lately. Anxious over that. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully your money troubles get better.
I've been medicated on Ativan since probably Saturday.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So when you got to the apartment, what happened? Like,
made some dinner, made some ramen. I love how I make my ramen. Then we started watching Sister Act, but it was time for her to start getting ready for bed. Her mom got home basically just as we were starting Sister Act.
Okay.
And that was just about bedtime.
What time is bedtime?
Usually 10:30, 11ish,
Okay.
something like that. It's a spectrum, not a set time.
Mm-hmm. Then, so who's going?
Hey, do you want to be up, or did you just come to chill in the back?
I came as a super spy. No, I came to say hello
What's
to
up?
everybody. I haven't been around. Well, I've been around, but not around, you know? I just came to say hello
Yeah.
to everybody.
So they're saying that it's in an interview from Tuesday where he said he came up Saturday.
Okay. Hi, Cara. Hi, everybody. Well, I'll listen with you. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. Let me know if you want me to pause.
Okay, love. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Going through the bedtime routine? Because I know it says she has somewhat of a little routine too that she does. Is it her? Are you talking about?
Routine is taking her meds, eating some food so that she can have the proper calories for the meds. And then she's got about an hour to do whatever she needs to do because she needs to fall asleep at that point.
Okay, gotcha.
Her bedtime routine is taking her bedtime meds, brushing her hair. She should have showered that night. And then she goes to bed as well. Usually with some bombs or something on in the background. Scribbles.
Got it. What are the sleeping arrangements?
Typically sleeps in her mom's bed with her.
Okay. Did she sleep in her bed Sunday night?
No. I was just back. I'd been away for a couple months. I wanted us all to be in the same bed together. So her mom needed to get some serious sleep. So she said no to that and suggested that the guest room upstairs had a big enough bed. So needed some snuggle cuddle time that would suffice and get to sleep in peace.
Okay. So you say snuggle time. What does that mean?
Does not like to be alone. She is extremely dependent. She does not like to be alone at all. She needs human presence around her. Basically.
That part is just always so triggering. So yes,
Why do
we
they make
know.
her-
I thought that she went to grandma's.
They just
Sorry,
make
go
her
ahead.
sound like her best friends talk about her a certain way, right? Like the best friends are like, she does this, she does that. They don't make her sound like she's a 4-year-old that needs huggles and kisses and snuggles all the time. Fuck you, miss me with that. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
He's got me triggered today, especially after we talked about, all that stuff this morning, but there ain't no way. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
I'm a person who needs lots of hugs and kisses and love, and I like to be liked. I hate it when people hate me, but we don't need snuggles and cuddles and, like she's 13. She wants you to leave her alone so she can go dance in her room, post it on Instagram, TikTok, and talk to her boy crush. Leave the girl alone.
Right. Yep.
Serious sleep. You need a serious lobotomy.
He really does. Like, this is the one time I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people. So for the longest time, I thought that she went to grandma's house on Wednesday, but then we went back just earlier in the past couple of days, and we listened to the interview with Yolanda. Yolanda stated that she came Friday night. She didn't want to go home, and Yolanda had to work on Saturday, so she arranged for her to stay Saturday night. And then Sunday was the birthday party, and Madeline came home after the birthday party. All of that we have figured out. Again, I thought that she had went on Wednesday, and I thought that's why Jen slipped up and said the last time she saw her was Wednesday, because she didn't see her Saturday night, and she had been at grandma since Wednesday. But I was wrong, because grandma said she had went Friday. So Friday night and Saturday night, she's at grandma's. Maddie comes home after the birthday party on Sunday. But when does Stefan come? Does Stefan come Saturday night and then is there with Jen and then picks her up from the birthday party on Sunday?
and maybe acts like he just got there? Did Maddie call him from the birthday party and say to come, or see if he was
Well-
home, see if he was already there? We don't know the conversation that happened. So that's what we're trying to figure out, because they all misspeak so much. And he says that he came Saturday a couple of times. The neighbors say they saw him Saturday. The parents ask if he went Saturday, but then when he says he went Sunday, they're like, oh, okay. Because he said he didn't arrive in time to go to the birthday party to them, but we know that he wasn't allowed at the birthday party. So we're kind of trying to figure it out, because there's so many inconsistencies in all the stories of when Stephen actually arrived.
Jill, we know for sure he was there at some point on Sunday. We got that. The question is, at the very beginning, he says Saturday, and she says Saturday, and the dad says Saturday. Then they spent 4 hours alone in a car with each other, and now it's Sunday. So that was the question. Even though the 2 pings on the sun pass of the car exist and stuff like that, what we're asking is, and if you, which document is that? Show me which one that is allegedly the 2 pings on the, Jill just dispelled the whole thing for me then, because I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm missing something.
So it would be the maps, which I haven't figured out exactly how to read. And, from earlier today, I downloaded the document, and it might
For sure.
So
if we dispel that right away, then there's no use in talking about it. If Jill knows where it is, right where I can go get it, I'll find it, and then there's no use in talking about it. Then if it's dispelled, it's dispelled.
Right. So we need to go back and look at the maps then again and see where they place him on Saturday, because for whatever reason, I guess maybe I'm in too deep or something, I didn't even think about that. And that's going to tell us definitively the phone ping maps.
But then I got this. We watched the interview with the parents on March the 6th as well. It didn't dispel it for me then, so I'll have to go back and check that and just make sure that I didn't miss something. That's a possibility. There's a lot of information in this case. So if everybody knew that, why is this even a question at this point? Because it wasn't just us talking about it. There were 3 other channels yesterday talking about it.
Yeah, and I think that, again, the parents, he talks about end of life plans and how they're forgetful and kind of forget things. I think it's hard for me to trust them as much, because he talks about he needed to be there. They're making like end of life plans. They forget things. So I feel like if he said on the jail call, no, I went up Sunday after the birthday party, they might just believe it and say, oh, okay, that's right. And then when you talk to him on March 6th, they say, no, he went up Sunday after the birthday party. But at the same time, if I'm going to be like that with them, then why do I feel like the Canadian neighbors are so exact in their time when they say that they saw him on Sunday outside sitting in Jen's car? Saturday outside sitting in Jen's car, because I would have to be the same way about them too. Well, if Stephen Stern's parents can be misremembering, then why can't the Canadian neighbors be misremembering?
Well, and then I guess the other part of me is, just like I said to you this morning, we have this guy who drove through this part of town on this video, and then we have him over here on this video, and then we have him in the parking lot of a hotel moving her body from the front to the trunk on this video. And then we have him on video at the trash compactor. And then we have him on video. You understand where I'm coming from? We have him on video, this, that, and the other. So why is it so hard to show a video of him arriving on Sunday?
Yeah. And there might be a video of him arriving on Sunday or something that we're not privy to, because
but we don't know about it. Yeah.
Homicide.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm thinking. Thank you, Jill. I'm going to go look that up. I really appreciate you.
49:15. Okay, yeah. If you find it, let me know. I'll play this for now.
Gotcha. She just turned.
Yeah. Okay. I've been trying to wean her off of that, but it's been difficult.
What about her father, biological father?
He lives in Kansas or Texas right now, but I think he's on his way down to help.
Gotcha. Okay.
Last I heard.
All right. So says you go up so could spend her time, snuggle time with you to help her go to sleep. Is that right?
Just bedtime, yeah.
Bedtime. Okay. Did you stay in the room the entire night?
Not the entire night. I'm usually up and down sometimes. So I might go grab a drink or something, or yeah, I'm up and down sometimes.
Gotcha. But you stayed. You didn't at any point go sleep in bed.
No.
Okay. All right. So night goes on. Morning time comes around, and it's time for to go to school. Walk me through that a little bit.
Excuse me. Morning routine. She usually starts waking up. We set about 3 alarms. The first one goes off and we let her keep snoozing.
Do you remember what time her alarm goes off? Or what?
Not really. Maybe 7:30ish. I'm not sure. Alarm goes off. We let her snooze about 3 times while we start getting ourselves ready. And after the 3rd snooze, it's time for her to get up for real and start getting ready. Typically, she will have showered the night before, so she needs to brush her hair, brush her teeth, excuse me, get her book bag together, eat some breakfast if she's going to eat there, and then we eventually make our way out the door.
Okay. So walk me through, like, you leave, you take her to school in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of car do you have?
It's a Lincoln. It's actually my parents' car because my car is down south. It needs maintenance, and we're scared to drive it too much. So I'm driving a Lincoln right now. Got out early. The plan was to get some McDonald's on the way. So we got out nice and early.
Do you remember what time you left, roughly?
Not 100%.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My memory has not been super reliable.
No, that's fine.
But it was early. Maybe 7:30, 7:45, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not certain.
That's fine.
The plan
Was she awake when you guys left?
Semi-awake. I was giving her updates as we were going along. Getting ready, she's getting dressed. We're leaving now. Goodbye. But she was sleeping in, so I was just giving her little updates and poking my head in as we went. But we leave the house. We start making our way to the school. Asleep in the car for most of the time. We make our way over towards our school area. I ask her if she's still in the mood for McDonald's. She says no. She doesn't want it anymore. Okay. Continued on. It was still pretty early though, I think. We still had some time to kill. It wasn't really time to drop her off yet. I had apparently forgotten my clicker key fob for the gate. So I ended up actually turning around at some point and going back to the community to get the clicker. I had to use my parking sticker to get in for the guy to scan.
So we know that that's a lie already, because the gate clicker guy said that he had his gate clicker and said that it didn't work, but he tried it and it worked. So that's always been weird to me, and we've been discussing it somewhat in this live. Why did he have to go back to the house? Why did he go back through that gate with her slumped over in the front seat, risking the security guard guy seeing her deceased? Like, did he think, was Stefan trying to prove that she was alive and awake in the car by having a witness saying that I saw her and she was sleeping? I don't know. I can't figure out the gate clicker thing because it makes absolutely no sense. Did he go back to get her crock? Did he go back to talk to Jen? He didn't go back to get the phone because he's still without the phone for the rest of the way. And there was something else that he said, but it has
since I've stopped, slipped my mind. Diamond Girl said his story about McDonald's would have been more believable if he'd at least gone through the drive-thru and left some of the trash in the car. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you said that, because that was the other thing. The McDonald's thing is an issue for me because I've always felt like that he made up the McDonald's story because he had to move Madeline's body out of the house in the morning without the roommates waking up and seeing, because we know the one roommate gets up at 7:45 and is downstairs and doing things. So he would have had to been out of the house before 7:45 when she usually comes down. So he makes up the McDonald's story. But Jen said that Maddie said she wanted McDonald's the night before, and they came up with that plan Sunday night when she talked to her. So where does all that come in? And is that premeditation? Did he have it planned out and said that, oh yeah, I'm going to take her to McDonald's because he knew he'd have to get her body out of the house early so nobody would see? Is that what they're talking about, premeditation? Because it was all a fake story to get her body out of the house? I don't know. These are speculations I have that I need help with. Nicely done. It's good to see you. Everybody that's come in, if I've missed you, thank you so much for being here. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out and participating and being here with us today. Nicely done said, I think it's those three things you mentioned, allegedly speculating, a witness, talk to Jen, and possibly find the crock. Right. And it can be all three things at once. Nessa said, I can only imagine Stephen talking to a deceased Maddie like she was alive. Lord, I hope not. Hey, Obsidian. Abella said, Moss Mommy agreed. I don't usually say that because I have chronic pain, which is invisible, but in her case, I don't believe her. I'm sorry you go through that. But how did he get her to the car without the neighbor seeing? That's a good question. I'm assuming she was wrapped up in the blanket we see pictures of in the back. Lastly, nicely done said, sometimes I think Jen Soto came outside to walk the dog. I don't know. Jen Soto wanted to know if the detectives had ring camera evidence from her neighbors. It's a possible speculation. I remember, I think the Canadian neighbors said that he was walking the dog and they thought it was weird because he never did, but I could be completely wrong in that. I remember they say that Maddie walks the dog usually and somebody else was walking the dog and they thought it was weird, but I could be wrong. We might need to go back and listen to that interview again. Heather said, but he didn't mention going back to the complex to the cops, so we can disagree the witness part. Right, that's a good point. He didn't want the cops to know that he went back to the complex. It was only when they called him out for it that he said, oh yeah, I did go back. That's a good point.
I had some errands to run afterwards, and I wanted to have my shop. But we still had plenty of time as far as I knew. So we did that, grabbed the clicker, left again, and that's when we drove over to her school area, and I dropped her off where I dropped her off.
Okay. Do you remember where you dropped her off?
Yeah, it was the stretch of road, I forget the street name. It was the stretch of road that the school is on. Make a right onto it. It goes down a little ways. There's some communities over here, and up further there's a church, and then there's.
We know he dropped her off in that specific area because he knew there wasn't cameras. Real quick, I wanted to discuss this because this was something else that was brought up today, so I'm glad you said this. When we were reading over the documents, it said there was no fingerprints on the gate or the fence where Madeline's body was found, right? So we know that Stephen was using the blue gloves that were found in his car, so he wouldn't leave fingerprints behind and things like that. We can assume, I don't know, I'm speculating, that he was using the blue gloves that were in his car. Then we have the blue gloves in the woods by the apartment complex. We can't figure out why they're there. Unless he was using them and he placed Maddie's body in the woods for a period of time and then moved her from there, which goes to what you were saying, Nessa. She wasn't deceased in the house. That's why she wasn't seen being moved. He moved her from the woods. So at what point, okay, does that mean, is your speculation that the homicide was committed in the woods? And if your speculation is the homicide was committed in the house and then she was moved to the woods, why would he risk moving her to the woods unless he did it? I mean, I could see him maybe doing it at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and leaving her there and freaking out the whole time and praying she's not found, and then just swinging by there and putting her body in the car that morning. But I mean, again, you have to have time to position the body in the car the way he did, and that takes a minute. So unless it's like real private or something. The gate was open. I did see that. I think it was locked at the time, though, because he keeps the property locked. And I think he had to unlock it for the police and people to go in there, because I think they said that he might have put her over the fence because the gate was locked and there was no way for him to get in and out unless he put her body over the fence and then climbed over himself. But I could be wrong about that. I do believe that's what I remember. Bitchy, hello, it's good to see you. Guys, I've been looking at video and evidence pics for the past 2 hours. Still can't find the pic of the plate nor the Asian condiments with random ramen packets. Where are they? I haven't seen that. I don't know anything. I've never heard that. The gate was unlocked. Okay, I'll go back through and read. I think they said that it was locked at the time, but I could be wrong. So I'll definitely go back and check that. Okay, let me get my children's and we'll listen to this.
There's the overpass in the school on the other side of the overpass right there. I dropped her off on that stretch where the communities are.
Was she by herself when you dropped, or was her friends there?
Yeah, she was by herself. She said she was going to go find her friends and hang out, wait for them to show up.
Okay.
It was still early.
Where did you go after that? Like, did you see her walk towards the...
I saw her making her way towards the direction of the school, but she was like kind of shuffle step. She was meandering her way there. She was rummaging through her backpack for something. I assumed she was looking for headphones, maybe. But as it turns out, she did leave her phone at home that day, so she might have actually been looking for her phone.
Gotcha, okay. What was she wearing when she left, or when you dropped her off?
Blessed on Purpose said no, the owner felt bad for leaving the gate unlocked. Okay. If you remember where you saw that, please let me know so I can validate that. I don't remember reading that. But you could be right. I just might be misremembering. There's so much for this case, and to this case, it's really hard for me to remember everything. I know quite a bit because I've studied these case files for months, but I don't remember that. So just, yeah, if you don't mind, let me know where you saw that.
Green hoodie, black shorts, black or blue, black shorts, white Crocs.
White Crocs. Okay. All right, so she's walking towards the school. Do you continue straight when you leave? Or do you turn around?
I turned around and went back the other way. I was watching her in my rearview mirror, and she was going the right direction, so it looked okay.
And where did you go after that?
The next stop I wanted to go to was the vape shop. It opened at 10, so I had a little while, so I just kind of meandered around and eventually made my way over there to wait for it to open. It didn't open when it was supposed to, so I left and came home, and then went back about an hour later when I was sure it would have to be open at that point. Got what I needed there, and made my way back to home again. Relaxed and hung out for a while. Seems like any other morning.
And he says he made his way back home, relaxed, and hung out with Jim for a while. But Jim was at the blood appointment when he got there. Supposedly, he had to call her at 10:18 and apologize profusely for leaving his phone at home. Diamond Girl said, why does he mumble when pretending to yawn? I'm not sure. He's answering their questions, and I think he's trying to yawn and act nonchalant because he's nervous AF right now while he's being questioned by the police, and he's trying to make himself look innocent. But I mean, I can go ahead and tell you now, if you look at this room compared to the room they questioned Jen Soto in, this room is very small, very confined, and he's in the corner furthest away from the door, and the cops are blocking his exit to the door. If you're in a room like this that you
might as well just say, I want an attorney immediately because they got you on something. Now, when they question Jen, she's sitting on a very open couch. The police are further away. They're not closed in on her, making her feel confined, anxious, and worried. And she has free movement in the room and to the door. It's a lot different because they don't suspect her of a crime, or they haven't got her on anything yet, is what I'm assuming. It seems like they suspect her of something in that interview, but they don't have any proof. Jenny B, thank you for being here, said last time Madeline was seen alive was when she got dropped off after the party. It could have happened right after that. I think that's a possibility. I really do.
It was when you got back home after dropping off at school. Was you home at the time?
I think she was on her way home. I think that she had had a blood appointment, and we were both kind of going to arrive very shortly within time of each other.
Okay. So when you got home, when both of you got home, what? Walk me through the rest of the day.
Just hung out, chit-chatted. I mean, I don't know. It's not much to recollect.
But you stayed at home pretty much all day, or no?
Pretty much until maybe noon-ish or 1 o'clock. I had a few errands to run, but I wanted to be back in time for us to go pick up from school. So I just ran up and down 192. Ended up getting a flat at some point, which made me somewhere along 192.
192 is a big road.
It is, and honestly, it all looks the same to me. So I've been asked, do you remember what plaza you were next to, what color? And I'm like, I'm ADD as it is, and I was in a medicated fog for the better part of a week. I'm lucky I remember what color I'm wearing right now.
So he says that for a specific reason, because they ask him, has he changed clothes several times? By the time he goes to this interview, he's well aware that they're on to the fact that he was wearing the Deadpool shirt that morning when he did everything and drove around with Madeline in the car, because they have him on camera and they call him out for turning around on John Young Parkway and coming south when he said he was supposed to be going north. And they've asked him, has he changed clothes? And he states, no, he hasn't, knowing damn well that he had, but he was trying to lie to the police and say that he hadn't changed clothes. He's obviously not wearing the red Deadpool shirt. I haven't seen the red Deadpool shirt in any of the photos. So him saying, I'm lucky that I remember what I'm wearing right now, he's saying that because that's an excuse for why he's wearing a different shirt than he was to begin with, since he knows that they picked up on the fact that he's changed clothes. And the medicated fog thing, he states in the first interview that he takes medication, but he hasn't had to take it in a while. And then as soon after that, when he picks up that the police have caught up on his bullshit and know that he's full of shit and he's lying like a mother trucker, he starts talking about, oh, it's my medication this, my medication that, and that's the medication. All the medications. Oh, yeah, Leah, he probably is hiding his scratched hands.
Do you remember what errands you were running?
Yeah, I wanted to go check out some game shops.
Where were these game shops?
There's Coliseum of Comics, there's House Rule Games nearby. A lot of the Targets and Walmarts carry the game I was looking forward to. We just had a new release on Friday, so even though I don't have much in the way of money right now, I still want to go look and see what the situation is.
It's always nice to window shop.
It is. And I may,
Sorry, real quick, while it's on my mind, because I'm ADHD too and I'll forget. Orange Rose, I saw that you became a member, and if you're here for whatever reason, I'm not seeing your comments. I know you emailed me, and I wanted you to know that I'm just not seeing it. So I don't know if YouTube is kicking you or whatever. I know that was yesterday, but I wanted you to hear, if you are here, that I'm not seeing your comments today. Boomer said, I believe that Natalie was home and goes to sleep early because she leaves at 7:45, whereas Angela arrives late that Sunday night around 11:30. Yeah, I believe so. I would have to go back to the roommate's interview to verify that, but I do believe so. And I do believe that's the McDonald story again, because he had to get her body out early in the morning.
serial consumer. So I was just driving around.
Mike, her sister, Jen's sister, took Maddie home and left her there, I think was about for 30 minutes before Steppen supposedly arrived.
Up and down 192, sort of just aimlessly, honestly. Just killing time till it was time to go back.
All right, so when you got home, did you and go pick up from school?
So I got home, it was 10 minutes later than I had wanted to leave to go get her. Just about 10 minutes. I called her and said, hey, where are you? I'm so sorry, I got a flat. She already left. She had been gone for 10 minutes. It didn't make sense for her to come back and get me. She likes to be the first in line when the kids start coming out.
Okay. Then obviously wasn't at school. So what happened? Did she call you after that or what?
I was already on the phone with her while she was waiting. We were just chit-chatting. We do that. We just keep each other company even if we're not physically together. You know?
I would love to see those Google Meet calls. Anders said, I think both Steppen and Jen knew that he was on camera outside the vape shop. Jennifer asked them if they wanted the name of the vape shop. I think that was created as an alibi because she says in several interviews, you can check the vape shop. There's security footage there. There's cameras at the bank and things like that. And she tells them several times where they can check Steppen's alibi, but never asks them, have they found Maddie? Never tells them where they could see her walking, anything to do with Maddie. She just doesn't. Mike said, but Steppen was already there since Saturday, if we're going with that theory. Yeah. So, I mean, I could explain it as in, he wanted Madeline to think he just got there Sunday and arrived or something to that effect. But it doesn't make much sense if we go with that theory, because why would he do that? I mean, if he had been there since Saturday and Jen knew that he had been there since Saturday, Maddie wouldn't necessarily seen him because she would have been at grandma's house. But why leave and then pretend that you just got there? Unless he left to go to the store and then came back after her party or something. But yeah, it doesn't, if we're going to go with that he arrived Saturday, that part does not make much sense. So it very well could be that he did arrive on Sunday. Maybe that would cancel out the speculation that he arrived on Saturday. Oh, I'm glad to see you, Orange Rose. Okay, good. I'm glad that you're here and you've just been listening.
She's like, where's my kid? Not coming out. That's when we started asking questions, Did she go somewhere else? Did she know that you were going to come pick her up? Did she possibly walk to her grandma's house or her grandma's office, which has kind of been what she's been doing for the past week because her mom has started working a new schedule. So we started making all the calls. No one had seen her yet.
If she went to grandma's office, Jen would have seen her walk out of the school. So that doesn't make sense either.
So that's when we started getting a lot more concerned and panicked. She drove around a little more, looking for her, looking along the walking paths, and didn't see anything. Went to her mom's, grandma's, went to mom's office. Not there, waited around, not there, went back to the school, not there. At that point, the whole family started rallying up and going to meet at the mom's office. And, I think that it was around that time we might have called 911 as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Going back to bringing to school, how was she like on the car ride there?
She calmed down, sleeping. Just sleeping along the way. She does that.
How often have you taken to school?
Not often, honestly. This might have been my third or fourth morning school run. I'm not normally the one to do it.
And on the other occasions, has she had you drop her off in and around the same location, or how does that?
She has this image thing. I guess it's just a middle school thing. She only likes to be seen getting out of certain cars in front of the school.
So that's a point of contention for me as well, because everybody else, Bestie, Grandma, and everybody other than Jen and Stephen say that Jen never took her to school, as far as I remember. So it's weird to me, like, is Jen just saying that, oh yeah, he's taking her to school, and oh yeah, she doesn't like being seen in his car, it's an image thing. If it's true that she didn't like being seen in his car, I don't think it was an image thing. I think it was because she didn't want him to see her friends or any little boys or friends like that she might have been talking to. Somebody else just asked if it's possible that he used the blue gloves to strangle her, and that could be why there's no other foreign DNA on her. And that's a good speculation. I didn't think about that, but that could explain, like you said, why there's no DNA on her, and that could also explain premeditation. Because if he's brought gloves into the room and he uses that to strangle her, then it's obvious that he planned to strangle her because he brought the gloves. So that's a possible speculation, in my opinion. Hey, Bogart, it's good to see you.
Her mom's is acceptable, but mine's, I guess, kind of a hoopty, and she's embarrassing. Right?
Lincoln? What does her mom drive?
A nice looking Sentra. So yeah, this is not the first time she's asked me to drop her off a little ways down so she could walk up and look cool.
So you say she was conked out on the way there. You said you took her to school, or you were on her way to school. You needed to turn around to get your clicker.
Correct.
Was she sleeping then too?
She was. Yeah.
Okay.
It had been an early morning, so I figured it'd be fine to let her sleep in the car ride.
Okay. When you got back to the apartment complex, or
Bogart, thank you for being a member for 3 whole months. That's amazing. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Bogart said, love your channel. Thank you, mods. Aw, how sweet. And happy St. Patrick's Day to y'all. Rose Thorne said, Stephen Stern says she's been going to grandma's for the past week since Jen got this job. What? That's very important too. And I don't know if that's in the original, so I'm going to write that down. So that goes back to the possible Wednesday night thing, but grandma said she just spent the night Friday night. Maybe she's going like every day through the week and grandma's watching her while Jen works, and then she's going home at night. Yeah, I didn't even think anything about that before you said that. So I appreciate you pointing that out. I'm writing that down real quick. Basil's eating crackers, so I'm sorry if y'all hear that. Mr. Rooster Man was outside clucking too a minute ago. Yeah, he just said it in this video. Thank you. Maddie's friends know Stephen. In the interviews, they said they seen and know who he is. Still, why would Maddie be embarrassed of his car and pretend like her friends don't already know? That's a good point. Another thing of contention for me is that Bestie said that there's photos of him in a group chat that were deleted, but they were there after Stephen was arrested. So who's deleting the photos of Stephen that is in the group chat between her and her bestie? And then we hear that they're asking Jen Soto to stop going on Maddie's accounts because they can't tell if it's her, and ask her what she's trying to access through Maddie's accounts. So it makes me think that she's deleting pictures of Stephen on Maddie's accounts, and that would go further into that she knew what was going on and she's trying to get rid of evidence. Oh, I've had several pet birds. I'll have to show y'all a video of Starlet. That was my baby. He was a common starling. But yeah, I like doing that stuff. I love the birds and things. Yeah, her friend also said Maddie talks to him while at school. Yes, she did. She sure did.
did you go in the front gate, or because I know there's the front entrance and then the back entrance?
When I came back after forgetting my phone.
Yeah. So which way did you leave?
I would have had to go in the front.
Okay.
And the guy scanned it. And I got in and got my fob and left. I don't remember if I left out the front or the back.
Did you stop anywhere else in?
No.
No.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. Did you take any trash out from the apartment?
The night before, I think I did. I'm not sure. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember if it was the night before or it was the morning of. Yeah, sometimes we get trash bags piling up by the door. It stresses her mom out to see them.
Is there like a common trash place, or like is there a dumpster somewhere that people take their trash to?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you took the trash out?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't remember if that was Sunday night or Monday morning?
You could have been Sunday night. I don't recall. I'm sorry, I was in the fog.
Well, okay. So where do you think it is? You don't know?
Supposedly they got video of her walking past the church or waiting at the church for a while and then leaving.
How's your relationship with her?
Great. I'm one of her favorite people in the world. Even though she's not my flesh and blood, you know, I've always loved her as if she was my own. I've raised her as best I could. Co-parenting, is what we call it.
That's not in the first original interview. So we learn in this interview what's different about this one than the original is we learn that he loved Madeline supposedly very much. He says that he treated her as if she were his own, which is even more sick and disgusting. And that she loved him very much and that they co-parented. They call it co-parenting. And then he said just a second ago, I raised her as best as I could. Past tense, not we're raising her the best way we can. He again uses past tense to describe I raised her as best as I could. Yeah, and we're not even going to go down the sick, evil monster innuendos there are in all of that statement.
Known her for half her life.
Gotcha. Okay.
For half of her life. So again, since the age of 6 or 7, he's been abusing that child, which we knew from simple math with the dates. Jill Corby, thank you so very much for just gifting 5 Speculation Station memberships. Those went to Vicky Vale, Mims R, Diana Brooklyn, CJ TQ, and Santana. If you guys were gifted from Jill Corby and you are aware, please tell them thank you. And that was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet and so kind. Thank you so much. I'm going to grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Jill. Jill said, oh my God, I did this from Belgium. Girl, I need to give you my address. I want some stuff from Belgium, some artwork, some little postcards, some chocolates or something. I want to go to Belgium. Diamond Girl said, I still can't see how Jen Soto didn't know anything. Seeing he drove her all over, the trash with the shoe, the laptop, all that paint looks like their wall paint. Yeah, that's something that's been weird. I don't know if he dumped the paint on it to try to hide DNA. That's been a possible speculation. Or if somebody else put the paint in there on top of the book bag. That's something we've been trying to figure out.
How old are you?
I'm 37. About to be 38.
You seem like a genuinely nice person.
I try to be.
I try.
Talks very highly of you. So the morning that you took to school.
Sometimes YouTube does delete comments, so it's not always the mods. It's been like some people said that memberships will be gifted and then you can't see the names of like who it's gifted to, and YouTube has choice words that if you say them, it'll like get rid of your comment, and then sometimes it just does weird things. I know a lot has been going on with YouTube. I think they're trying to fix it, but right now it's kind of iffy. Orange Rose, I highlighted like 2 of their chats, but they thought that I was ignoring them or they were blocked yesterday and I only saw like 1 comment from them. And it's YouTube. It's not, my mods don't usually delete comments unless they're like bad or, you know, we're very open because I like to hear everybody's thoughts, opinions, and speculations. And if they're different, I like for them to be there too. We're not an echo chamber by any means. So, my mods don't delete a lot of stuff. If your comment gets deleted, it's more than likely YouTube. Yeah, and you know, I do believe I've heard that Mercury's in retrograde right now, so that's a whole nother issue.
Mercury's in retrograde and messing with YouTube.
I swear, I believe in that stuff, girl.
I know, but it ain't deleting John's messages.
No, the messing with the
I'm
technology,
I'm
making
kidding.
YouTube act funny. I don't know. I'm a crazy.
No, you're fine.
Rhonda said, good catch, allegedly speculating. That's twice he's spoken past tense regarding Maddie. He also just said he's been involved for half of her life. Is that her total lifespan, Stefan? That's a good point. That is a good point. Bad Girl said, hit the thumbs up, and please hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. So twice now he's spoken about her in past tense.
When you came back to get your clicker,
Right, Tim?
what was saying in the car?
She was saying anything. She was just asleep. She was just reclined in the chair, sleeping.
Okay, explain to me, like reclining backwards?
Just laying back in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Stuff on here. I'm too old to lie to people. Too old to beat around the bush. And we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay. The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay.
Y'all know his heart just dropped all the way to his stomach.
There's cameras all over the place, as you can imagine. Nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Okay. So we see you coming in and out of at the guard shack in the car. Okay. We see you go by the dumpster. Okay.
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah. So it must have been that morning then. We'll toss trash bags on the back seat, and wherever we're going on our way out, we'll drop that on the way.
No one does that.
Nope.
Nobody does that in an apartment. I'm sorry.
No, I haven't lived in any
apartment. Anybody who lives in an apartment can tell you they're not going to just toss their trash in the back of their seat. You're going to either put it on the front of your hood, you're going to put it on the back, you're going to put it on the roof of your car, and you're going to drive it over to the trash can. He's such a fibberty fibberson. Like, F you, dude.
Yep. The little liar McLarson.
Right? It wasn't far enough for you to be putting it in your back seat. Trying to, there was something he wanted us to know that there was something in the back seat so that if they found something, you know, it was obviously house trash, not decomposition. Yeah. Or fluids from a little girl that I might have or might not have, taken her life.
Right. Good point.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Good point. Blue Sapphire said the creek knew there were cameras. That's why he was desperate enough to pose Maddie in the car. Yeah. Yep. AM said acting stupid stepping stones. At this point, he knew the detectives had something. Yeah, I could just imagine how his heart just dropped to his stomach, if he even has one, when they were like, I'm going to be honest with you, and I need you to be honest with me after talking about the position of her body in his car.
Amanda, you put your mom's stinky trash inside of your car, regardless of
Lord.
whether it's leaking or not. No, ma'am, you stop that right away. Okay, I was mistaken. Amanda does it. I'm just speaking in a broad generality. I don't think that, most people would put that, but that's just a speculation. It's just my opinion. Everybody has their own way of doing things in life.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I've taken trash to the dump, I would put a tarp down and put it in the trunk, but I never put it in the back seat of the vehicle. But before we had a truck, after we had a truck, I would just put it in the truck bed. But I don't know.
Took the trash out for her. I'll have to double check.
Okay. Was everything in trash bags?
I'm sorry?
Was everything in trash bags, or was there any items that were?
And real quick, it's interesting that you pointed that out, because I didn't even think about it before. But we know from the Fox 35 interview that it was unredacted now in those documents that they picked up on the scent of decomposition in the back of the car. I can't remember if it says back seat or trunk, but that there was decomposition smell in the car. So they know that at this point, even though we didn't know that until just now. So that's probably, again, why they keep asking him about her being in the back seat. Now, if we run this, okay, he's got her tied up and sitting in the front seat. And then he puts her in the trunk. And then he takes her body and puts it where they find it later. At what point is her body put in Jen's vehicle or by the trunk of Jen's vehicle or anything to where the dogs pick up on it? And at what point did he put her in the back seat of the vehicle for there to be the smell of decomposition back there? That's a question. That's something I'm wondering right now, listening to this, because if the smell of decomposition's in the back seat, that means she was in the back seat. And that tells us why they keep asking about her being in the back seat. So when did he put her in the back seat?
Were just tossed along with the bag.
I think it would have been trash bags or maybe some boxes too. Some birthday stuff, leftovers. I can't remember exactly what.
Okay. When you dropped off for school, did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did. Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
Presumably. Okay.
She should have.
Once again, this goes back with the whole honesty thing. There was things in that trash bag that got thrown away that probably shouldn't have been thrown away. Okay. We'll get that in a minute. But right now, our main focus is on finding where he is. That is our number one focus right now. Okay. Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
None whatsoever.
No.
Okay. All right. Do you know she treated you kind of like her father figure?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And sounds like she almost kind of wanted you to be her dad. And from what it sounds like, you were playing that figure, and something.
Now, that part was not in the first one either, where they talk about her wanting him to be her dad, and it seems like you almost played that figure, and then something happened. He definitely knows he's screwed Joyous in. Yeah, what do you guys think about how the smell of decomposition got in the back seat and the police asking so many times if Maddie was in the back seat? You think so, Proud American? You think Stephen was trying to frame Jen for the homicide of Maddie? It's possible. It's a possible speculation. He definitely seems like he wants to tell his attorney something that he hasn't been able to. Mike said, wait, what? Jen dressed as Maddie to appear on that CCTV Wild Theory. Yeah, it's something we've questioned because they talk about somebody wearing the same clothes as Maddie that walks up, sits by the church for a minute, and then walks off. But, and I thought that for a while, I thought that maybe Jen Soto did that, but then you hear the interview and she's looking at the camera footage and then she's like, no, that looks like a Toyota. Like, if she really went through the trouble to pretend to be Maddie and then walk in front of that camera and then walk off later, I would think when they asked her about the vehicle dropping Maddie off and seeing the camera footage of what was supposed to be Maddie that was too grainy, when she saw the Toyota, she would have been like, no, that's Stefan's car, 100%. Yeah, that's Stefan's car, and that's Maddie right there. That's definitely Maddie. Instead of kind of being like, no, that hair is not the right color, and that's a Toyota, not Stefan's car. He had nowhere to put her when he changed the wheel. That's a good thought, because yeah, he would have had to move her to get the tire out of the trunk. So maybe he did put her in the back seat. I always assumed that he picked her up he drove the car to where he put her body. That's why it was shredded so bad. And then he put her body where it was and came back and changed the tire. But that's a good theory. He might have. Joyous said, good to see you, Luna. If Maddie was leaning back in the front seat, perhaps her arms dangled backwards into the back seat area. Perhaps that's why the scent's there. That's another possible speculation. Okay, Mike. Have a good night. Thank you for being here.
Something may have happened. Do you think anything happened?
I don't think so. I don't think what could have happened.
Okay. All right. Do you know anybody that lives in St. Cloud? Do you know where St. Cloud is?
St. Cloud, that's north or south? Or
East.
east.
East of Kissimmee.
Yeah. I've been out there too much. Yeah, I'm familiar with St. Cloud.
Okay. Whereabouts in St. Cloud? Like, do you know friends out there, or?
I don't have any friends really. I've driven out there a few times before. Mostly just when I'm meandering up and down 192.
Were you out there this week?
Yeah, I was out there sometime this week. Sometimes I just drive and meander around and explore. And drive till I don't know where I am, and drive till I know where I am again. And
It makes no sense, you little liar.
It's peaceful sometimes.
Rhonda, I agree. I'm tired of Stefan playing dumb too, but the fact is they got him in jail. Hopefully we're going to get to see the trial come and without continuance after continuance, because this man right here is a real POS, which we already know. He can meander straight to hell.
Yeah. We know he's lying to cover his ass, and he's not a very good liar, but yeah.
I agree with Rhonda. Because we watch it so much and we go over some of the same things. Like, it's like we're hearing him talk so much that I just feel like I could put a shoe through his backside.
Yeah. I think all of us want to right now.
Yeah, sure.
Nessa said he moved her into the back seat when he changed the tire. That's when the passenger went by, saw him looking petrified before he moved her into the woodland. I'm wondering if that's a possibility. Yeah. I don't know, Jill.
No, Colleen, no. We are not saying, nobody has said that there's a video of the final crime. Nobody knows that. We're not going to say that. We're not putting that misinformation out there because we do not know. If we did,
No.
though, I'm sure it would be breaking news. But no, we do not know that. And we only speculate that he could have possibly been recording at the time of the incident. We won't know that for a long time. Yeah, no, sorry.
The speculation that comes from is from the document stating that the sheriff released a video of the killing of a minor. So
Right.
yes, it's a speculation, but I don't know it to be fact. I'm trying to figure out the documents and things like that and going down
Sheriff Marcos was put on a Brady list because he leaked information in a case on a deceased individual, being a child in this case. And I don't know anything about that. I wasn't talking about anything about the case at that time. I'm sure there's a lot more people that know about it. I know he's on the Brady list because he did these things and it was just a leak. And I don't know what we know was leaked was a photo, but was there more? I don't know. I know for sure that there was a photo. I know for sure Marcos was involved in that. That's what I do know from the Brady report. But other than that, it doesn't say anything about a video that I can see. But I'm hoping that he didn't do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to, in my mind, not think that he was that depraved. Like, if he really did love this little girl like he said he did, if it was some freak accident because you're a freaking sexual sadist and whatever, but I'm hoping that it's not due to him doing something, sexual and recording that.
So I'll show you where that comes from because my speculation is that there is a video.
I believe you. I'm saying we're not going to put it out there that there is because we don't have proof.
Right.
We can speculate all day, but we don't know.
Rubber said, love for the beautiful women on panel. Love you too. That was so very sweet. And thank you for being a member for 4 months. I really appreciate that. I don't know who asked in chat, but this is where that comes from. So this is a letter from the state attorney's office to Marcos Lopez on December 30th of 2024. And it says, investigation into your publication of a photograph depicting the killing of a minor victim. And then further down on the document, it says it twice. Regarding your publication of the photograph depicting the killing of a minor. Now, from what I understood, it was a picture of her body at the crime scene, not the killing of a minor. And then at the end of this document that was just released on March 4th, that where it lists things that are not included, it states at the bottom, other, and that's the identity of the safe school officers, images and data from the automated license plate recognition system, and photo, video, or audio recording depicting the killing of a minor. So
but look, but let's be, even though we're speculative, we have to be honest. Photo, video, or audio recording is two different things. They are two different things. I just don't want somebody out there saying that you said there was a video because you did not.
No, but for it to be in all of these official documents, I believe that there is a photo, video, or audio recording depicting the killing of Madeline Soto. I speculate that there is, but I don't know. None of us know that, and we won't know that. So, I speculate and I get things wrong all the time. However, I believe there is a photo. I think that might have been what was released from Mark, a photo of the video or something. And I think that might be why they call premeditation, why they're so solid about who committed the crime and all of that.
And you know me, you know that I'm gonna challenge what you tell me, because if I don't see it your way, it doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make me right. I'm telling you that right now because I don't know. I'm hoping, like I said, that he didn't do that shit, because really, like, what kind of human being? You're not a human being. We already know there are lots of people that kill other people out there that, do things like this. I'm just hoping that we're wrong. For that to be said that way, it does lead me to believe that the sheriff had something on his personal phone. he set it out and it either accidentally or purposefully was leaked, you know.
Right.
And from what I was reading just about that part, to me the way it came across was that it was just a picture that he had in his phone, and he shouldn't have had it. It was in his personal phone. I mean, you screwed up. But you know, but beyond that, there is a possibility through the wording and the Florida statute that it could have been a video, and that there is a video out there. We don't know. I agree.
Right. Jill, if you want to come up, there's a link at the top of the comment section that you can click, and it will take you to StreamYard, and then you come up that way. Yeah, again, like she said, I don't know what was leaked or what Sheriff Lopez leaked or whatever. I just find it odd that it stated twice in an official document from the state attorney's office that was sent to Marcos Lopez, basically fussing at him and telling him he's going to be on the Brady list. And then we have the official document that was just released talking about the photo, video, or audio of the killing of a minor, not the minor that was not a deceased minor, not a minor at the scene where you found her body, but it says depicting the killing. That's just my speculation, though. I don't know. I was not there. I did not see. I do not know.
I got time to kill, I'll just drive around.
So you're saying when you dropped her off, she had her backpack. Presumably her school computer was in her backpack. And you described her wearing a green jacket, some kind of dark colored shorts, and white Crocs. Okay. Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash. So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. Okay? You understand? The family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you because this is a girl that we need to find. And it's, as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I really, really, really think you can help us. I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know. Yes, I don't.
What happened with
I dropped her off.
where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. Last I saw her.
Just do me a
Sometime throughout
favor.
the night on Sunday, did you guys have any interaction?
Takes my mic a minute
Conversation.
because I was muted.
worries.
Yeah, what's up?
No worries at all. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. John B's
Okay.
comment says, the name Stephen said his daughter was around Stefan, yet didn't want the detectives to speak to her. He also lied and said his daughter had a therapist, and when pressed about it, we're getting one. What is that about? I'm so not understanding.
I have no idea. I don't remember that. I remember Stephen is Jennifer's ex-husband. He did hang out with Stepan, but when asked if Stepan was ever around his daughter alone, I do believe he says no. And they don't talk about questioning his daughter because I've wondered where that audio is, because we've talked about before how if Maddie was being abused, she had to confide in someone. And if she didn't confide in the best friend, the only other person she talked to was the sister.
Mhm.
Steven's daughter. So I was wondering where that interview was, and if we don't have it because Maddie might have told that girl what was going on, and therefore
Right.
it's redacted and not put out.
So, John, if you have information on that, I mean, either come up or drop where it is, because I remember what you're saying, but I mean,
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, but if we have proof of it, cool. But if not, like, all the rest of us are lost on what you're talking about.
yeah. Steven's daughter is autistic. Okay.
Yeah, I was just wanting to put it out there. Like, John, I see your comments. I've seen every single one of them. I'm just trying to figure out where it's fitting into what we're with the subject that we're talking about.
Moth's mommy said he put her in the back of the car at the parking lot and was caught on camera doing it. Right. He moved her body from the front seat to the trunk, not the back seat of the car, is what I was trying to figure out with that. Because Fox 35 released the clip that said that there was smell of decomp in the back seat of the car. So when was she in the back seat of the car? It doesn't make sense for her to be in the back seat of the car. It also doesn't make sense for the dogs to hit on the back of Jen's car either. But, you know, speculations that need answers.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
What, like fight?
No, I'm not saying fight. I'm just. Did you guys sit up and talk, or?
We talked while I was making ramen. She was excited about her choir performance coming up. She was singing a little bit. I told her it was pretty. It reminded me of Sister Act. That's why I wanted to show her that movie. Talk about a crush she had on the boy.
How'd that make you feel?
Fine. You know she's not old enough to date, but you know, I told her crush on. Get your crush. That's healthy.
Do you think, has she had any boyfriends in the past?
Not per se, you know, boyfriends as however they can be early on, but we decided that she was too young. We needed to avoid that BS.
Being that she's too young, so she shouldn't be having sex with boys.
She's all the drama in middle school and all that stuff. None of it counts. It's real. I just told her she'd be better off waiting until high school.
Mm-hmm. Has she ever talked to you about boys?
A little bit sometimes.
Now, in the beginning, when I heard that she was talking to him about her crushes, I thought that was a possible motive. Do you guys think that Stefan could have committed this homicide because he was jealous of Madeline having crushes on other boys? Let me know what you think. Maddie was singing and the roommates didn't hear it. That's a good point. That's a good question. If she did sing that night, why didn't the roommates hear it? Good question. Hearts my face. Oh my God. If Maddie escaped through a sliding door and they noticed, that would explain why Stefan said he had to go out and blow off steam, to explain why he might be on camera going out that night. Possibly, but he's on camera going out that night and leaving for like 7-8 hours. So I would think it would be in reference to that, but it could be. I'm interested in the test. I've raised 3 daughters and they were never a thing that was in our home. Yeah, that's weird to me, especially considering that Jen wasn't sexually active in years, or at least a year. You think that that jealousy is a high motive? Mm-hmm. Jen, I wonder though, if it was, well, Jen's jealousy and his jealousy both, I could definitely see. I'm wondering if it's that as well. Nessa said it may be a mix of his sick fantasy and necro kink. I think so. That might be a possibility too. Unfortunately.
Has she ever, because I had the same thing, has she ever disclosed to you about being sexually active with boys?
No.
Do you know if she's ever been sexually active with anybody in the past?
Not that I'm aware of. I heard there was some sort of incident when she was much younger where she did something with the phone or a camera, but got scolded for it. She was very young. She didn't know. She got scolded for it, though. I wasn't around then.
Jill, you should be able to click the link and follow the prompts and be able to come up. You have to allow it to have access to your microphone and your camera, but you don't have to leave your camera on. You can turn it off. I don't know why it wouldn't be working for you. Workaday cat, dogs hitting on the sit in the back seat. I wonder if he was driving with the windows down. Dogs can hit downwind. That's a possibility. Maybe.
But it's vague. It's just remembering what someone said offhand. So.
All right. What happened to your hand?
Flat tire. I haven't changed a flat tire in about 10 years. So I made a rookie mistake and had my thumb too close to where the jack and the frame meet. And it slipped, and the frame came down on my thumb and pinned it between the jack, which I feel like I got off surprisingly light with that.
Ouch.
I yanked it free. You're not supposed to do that. It looks okay. It's got the worst of it. Some bruising under the nail.
What about the other scratches?
Courtesy of a janky tire iron and the road.
Did you bleed at all?
Yeah, this one had some blood and this one had some blood, but not much. It clotted fast.
Do you know what popped your tire at all?
No idea. Tire just started going floppy and then
Pretty worn out or
way
something?
floppier and then just completely free.
Okay, I see you, Jill, but it says you need to connect your microphone and your camera. So try to get closer to your Wi-Fi, or try to go out and then do exactly what you did and try to come back in, because I think it worked. We're going to try. Can you hear me? Jill? Oh.
I hear you.
You hear me? Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you hear me?
Yep. I'm going to turn your camera off. Maybe. You can turn your camera off if you don't want it on. Let me see. Oh, I can't turn
You
your
still
camera.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. There you go. Thank you, Hio. I can hear you. You don't have to cover it. She covered it up for you. So you're good. Oh, no, she took it down. There. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Jill, you don't have to cover your camera with your hand. It's a button at the bottom you would push, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about it.
hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know if it's connecting right because you can't hear me. Yeah, okay. Try to come back up in a minute, or we can continue to try, because I want you to be able to come up. So you can try again if you want. If you can hear me, close out your YouTube. After you come up, after you go to StreamYard, close out your YouTube. Are you going to say something? No? Okay. Hio, I was talking to you that time.
Oh, me? You want me to say something?
I didn't know because you had your
Every
mic
time
on
I
mute.
say something, I get myself or somebody else in trouble, girl. I'm just sitting over here. I'm sitting over
Lord.
here trying to figure out whether I got one fork with 4 prawns or 4 fork with 4 prawns to poke him in the eye.
Oh, okay. How many prongs are in the fork to poke him in the eye?
I think 4, but I'm just going to meander over there to the jail.
All righty.
Freaking separated. I think we had a spare and a jack. Janky as it was.
So typically when changing a tire and stuff, you tend to get brake dust and dirty and all that.
Yeah,
Did you happen to,
positive that I breathed in some freaking brake dust or tire dust or something because I was coughing the rest of the afternoon.
what'd you end up doing to clean up or stop the bleeding and stuff?
Nothing, actually. Just
You
went
didn't get too
home
dirty?
and washed my hands, and that was it.
Your clothes get all messed up and all, or?
Not bad, surprisingly.
What were you wearing, by chance?
This. So I think I'm still wearing this. I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Oh, so you kept pretty clean.
Try to, I guess.
You weren't wearing a red shirt?
I was wearing a red shirt early in the morning, but I changed clothes later because that shirt was been a couple days old that morning. And the flat tire happened after that.
Did a flat tire happen before or after you dropped off at school?
After.
After.
It was sometime afternoon between noon and like 2:30. I don't know how long it took me to fix it.
And you changed your shirt before or after going back to get the gate clicker?
I don't recall. Maybe after. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm medicated. I've been medicated all week. My memory is just not as reliable as I would like it to be right now. I was in a fog and half asleep that morning as it was.
Walk to the car on her own when you took her to school?
Yes.
What are you thinking about?
Sorry, I'm spacing out here. Long day, no sleep.
Who else has access to your car? Are you the only one that drives it?
My parents.
Okay, it's loading. Oh, hey, I'm gonna put. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to turn you up.
Jill, do you want your camera on?
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Well, we can cover you up if you don't want to be on camera, but we can hear you just fine. What you got going on?
I'm from Belgium. You can show me if you want to. I have nothing to hide.
Oh,
Okay.
we're not worried about that. What you got? What do you want to share?
Well, this case, like I said, I'm from Belgium. Here, I don't know if I can use the words, but P word can run you free. It doesn't matter in Belgium. If you abuse children, it's okay.
Oh, you're saying
That's why
that
I like you.
in Belgium they allow the abuse of children?
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh wow. Oh
Oh
wow.
no.
Oh, yes,
It's glitchy.
they do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's glitchy. Just bear with her, guys.
Sometimes you get a more punishment to go to the red light or I don't know what, to be a P man. I don't know what to use from word.
I got what you're saying. So you're saying a lot of times in Belgium, a person would be punished for running a red light more than they would be punished for the abuse of a minor or being a PDF.
Yeah.
I got
That's for sure. That's for
I
sure.
gotcha.
You have to look it up. There's now a radio man who has like the see Sam on his phone, like Stephen Stearns, and he's got like probation.
Probation for having the type of CSAM that Stephen Stearns does on his phone.
Yeah,
That's
just
horrible.
probation.
That's horrible.
Yeah, in Belgium, it's very horrible. That's why I like to follow cases in America. But this case has got me to the bone. I don't know if I explain it very well because I'm
You're explaining
got
it
me
fine.
to the heart. It's got me to the bone. I followed them from the start. While the Amber Alert went out. Yeah.
So do you guys get the Amber Alerts in Belgium?
No, I follow it on YouTube.
Okay. I was curious. I was like, that's very interesting. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but big cases, they come through Belgium. Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
And I'm, how do you call it? Like, I like true crime. But this case, it got me to my bone. I followed it from the first moment. I also, because there's like a war in America, you have one channel, the other channel, and everybody is attacking each other. I don't like that because I watch every channel that makes the story, and I take my own story for it. It's not necessary to attack each other.
Oh yeah, I would hope I would hope that everybody that comes on here would respect allegedly speculating, as well as everybody that goes into any other channel should definitely respect their host. And I would hope that wouldn't happen here. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you saying that, Jill. I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
You're
but I want to make a statement with that because I also follow a little channel, and it's like Ninchi, and she gets attacked, and then Jay, of guilty of true crime, gets attacked, and then the other channel.
Oh, Jill, we just lost you. I think
she was trying to make a statement. She said that she follows a smaller channel, and then she follows guilty of crime, and that some of them have been attacked in ways that upset her. So I'm sorry that the audio was bumping her around.
Yeah, I imagine because she's in Belgium, but that's really sad to hear. I've watched a few documentaries about how children are treated, like in Belgium and places like that. Sometimes, I mean, I don't know. I've never been there, and I've just seen things that I've seen online, which you have to take with a grain of salt. But I've heard about some things like that, and we did lose her, unfortunately. But
I mean, she didn't pass away. We just lost her off panel.
Yeah, we just lost her off panel. But yeah, I hate that. I hate that anybody gets attacked. I think that we should all be able to present our information out here as we see, as long as it's stated as a speculation, thought, or opinion. I don't like the fact that the YouTube channels get attacked, especially smaller ones. I hate that too. I agree.
Well, I guess maybe she'll be able to come back up. Go on with your interview if you're ready. I'll just.
Yep.
Parents have access.
But here in Kissimmee.
Yeah, in Kissimmee, I'm pretty much the only one with access to it.
So safe to say you'd be the only male driving that Lincoln?
Presumably, yes.
I want to get back a little bit to your relationship with you saying she's not allowed to have boyfriends or anything like that.
She can have crushes. She likes them.
All right. Have you and her ever exchanged, do you guys exchange text messages? How do you guys communicate?
FaceTime. She'll FaceTime me at night when I'm not around before bedtime to say goodnight. Talk to her and her mom. And
I was trying to type, but it's just too much. Jill, excuse me, you didn't do anything wrong at all. Your signal was cutting in and out and it was glitchy. And when on StreamYard, when you lose signal, it'll like just throw you out. So it wasn't us. You just lost signal, and it was glitchy. So I think that you just lost signal. I don't know how well the signal is over there, but I do appreciate you coming up. And yeah, we figured out that your statement, you were trying to say that you don't like how these channels get attacked and it's not fair. And I agree with you. I think that we should all be able to state our thoughts, opinions, and speculations, and that we should not be attacking people's YouTube channels. I definitely agree. And it was a pleasure having you up. You can come up again if you want to. I don't know if you might be able to like put your phone close to wherever you get your Wi-Fi signal from. Maybe that'll work a little bit better next time. But I really appreciate you coming up, and it was nice to talk to you and see your face and all of that. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for that. That was amazing. And you can come up anytime you want to.
sometimes we don't even talk about anything. We just sit there doing our own thing and just with each other's faces on the phone, just spending time,
What happened? So the deputies made a comment. So what happened to your phone?
No idea what happened to my phone. I was pushing off doing this update for a while and ended up trying to do it. I don't know what the hell, my head being in the state it was, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up somehow doing some sort of option that updated the OS, but it ended up like wiping my phone at the same time. Even just now, the phone that my dad gave me and set up for me, I literally just pulled it out of my pocket and the sucker was reinitializing again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's just me and technology right now, or I'm just not paying attention, or.
Did that happen once to your phone, or how many times do you think you updated your phone?
I think I tried to update it twice, and I don't know what happened.
Okay. And from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did. Okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay.
That's another thing I've been wondering if they're trying to get us to see, or if that's what they were trying to tell us by releasing these documents, if they were trying to reiterate that he gave the phone willingly, because of the motion that was set forth stating that they obtained the phone illegally. I've been wondering if they're trying to basically reiterate that, we gave the phone to Stephen gave the phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives legally, and therefore that motion needs to be thrown out.
What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Emails. Old stuff.
Pictures?
Oh yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Trading card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
You have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and.
Yeah.
Becky P, yeah, they're trying to state that basically the way she said it, which was, do you give me permission to search through your phone, or do I need to get a search warrant? They were trying to say that they didn't really give him an option to say no. That was the issue. But I think that they've reiterated several times throughout all these interviews and documents that he's told them multiple times that they could go through his phone. So therefore the evidence should be entered into court and into the case, because that is the whole CSAM case for Maddie.
I think it backs up to Google.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you have any pictures on your phone?
Oh, I assume so.
Do you have any pictures of you on your phone?
Probably. I mean, went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures of family events. I'm not as much of a shutterbug as her mom, but I'll take them every once in a while.
Any other pictures you can think of? Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's pictures of you on your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
I don't know.
So I do believe that part was unredacted from the first part where he mentioned specifically what kind of pictures are on the phone. And we're going to listen to this to where they end the conversation and he asks for a lawyer because I don't really feel it necessary to watch them carry out the search warrant for his person and his DNA. And I'll probably go after that. And then I'm going to dig through this stuff and see what I can figure out that they're trying to tell us from these interviews and the documents. We'll go over that some more too with Hio tonight.
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find where it is. And I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you're wanting an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And that's not what he wanted to say.
Yeah, he just barely
Anyway.
shakes his head. Like he's literally, I can hear his stomach growling and like moving down into his lower intestine, like trying not to come out. I can hear that better than I can hear the reaction on his face that he doesn't have.
Yep.
Don't drop the soap. Yeah, bad girl. Thank you.
Jill, yeah, thank you for coming up. I really appreciate you coming up today. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. I hope you can do it again sometime.
So we're going to step out. If you need anything, please tap on this door. Okay? And there's going to be detectives outside that will be able to assist you.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. Is it Stearns?
Yeah.
And that's going to be about the end of that one. I could just see his face turning pale the moment that he's like, okay, yep. He thought that he deleted all that shit, and he didn't delete a damn thing. They got it all.
Good point. Hamburger Helper says, who the hell doesn't ask what they're being detained for if they're innocent? He doesn't even bother to ask, and the cop has to ask if he wants to know. Right on.
Yep.
Right on. That is spot on.
And that goes back to as well, when they're talking to Jennifer Soto, they have to tell her updates about Madeline. She never asked.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I don't know what to say. You're fucked.
I mean, but I'm glad that they were able to get all of that stuff from his phone, because hopefully Maddie will receive justice now for that. They did petition the court, like court TV and things like that, for us to be able to see the pretrial or one of the motions that where they're going to be doing pretrial or something to that effect. So I'll work on trying to read that and get that video out.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
happy
jump down.
St. Patrick's Day.
It's been a while since I've been up and hanging out with you. And the only disclaimer that I have on my way out the door with all 200 people watching who have been absolutely fabulous today is that when I come in here as a mod, I have a certain level of expectation for the host, for our lovely allegedly speculating. And I would just like to say, if we could keep the passive aggressive tone down a little bit and just get along, we can speculate all day. But as soon as the passive aggressive chat starts coming in and we're fighting and bickering with each other, I'm going to time you out. But I love you all, so don't get mad at me for that. If you're passive aggressive, then readjust your tone. 10 minutes timeout, you'll be good, and I'm good to go. So other than that, allegedly, thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. Bye,
All
chat.
right. I'll see you later. Yeah, I think she put up a fight as well. I really do. Hey, Proud Danish. You came in right at the end. I love you guys too. Orange Rose said, in my opinion, Jen's reaction when told about the CSAM was for the same reason as Stephen. Oh crap, we didn't delete it all. Right, and that I think she was going back through Maddie's stuff and deleting photos to the extent that the police had to tell her to stop going through Maddie's stuff because they thought it was Maddie, because she wanted to make sure to delete the photos. A lot of people speculate that she might have been in some of the photos and that she was able to delete them off of her phone. I don't know. I don't know. I would think that if they were able to get Stefan's photos, they would be able to get stuff off of her phone. And we do know, again, to be fair, that in July, they told Chris Stearns that they've been through her phone line by line, thousands of hours, and they can say definitively that Stefan worked independently. Now, will that mean, like, we're all hoping that she gets charged after court later down the road? We don't know. At this point, we don't know. And we're not going to know until it happens, if it ever does. It's odd to me that she hasn't been charged with neglect or anything. I think Maddie fought back, too. And it's sad. And I pray that she gets justice. Please keep her and all the other children, victims, all other victims in your thoughts, prayers tonight. And I'm sorry to all of you who have been through things and who have experienced anything like that. If you ever need to talk, please feel free to email me. And I love you all. You are all very important. You are all very special. And I hope you know that. And I hope you all have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Make it fun for the kids. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a good night and stay safe. Bye.